Happy Wednesday. Welcome in. This is Three Man Front. Pat Landrum, Molly Conrad with you until 2 o'clock. Thanks for tuning us in on this typical summer day. Humid, rain expected. I know all of our friends on the Gulf Coast, man, they are just getting absolutely hammered. A lot of rain in the Mobile area. So all those fine folks listening to us down in Mobile, including our own Gringo, who is down at Gulf Shores.
Well, you said hammered. I know exactly what you meant, but you meant by
well,
the weather.
maybe
in other ways.
Getting hammered because he can't be on the beach. So maybe he's in a bar somewhere. I don't know.
Or just right there on the patio, right?
Yeah, getting hammered.
Looking out at the beautiful Gulf of America.
Yeah, whatever the case may be. So, you know, Landrum, I don't know which was worse last night. Watching the Mets absolutely just – I don't know what the word is. What's the adjectives of what they did to the Atlanta Braves last night?
Hit a lot of home runs.
Or the Colorado Rockies shutting out the Cardinals for the second time this year. It's just been one of those years, man.
It has been. I saw the graphic where they ran out of fireworks at Citi Field.
Did they, honestly?
I don't know if it was just something on social media.
Oh,
but
just
there
being
was
funny?
Yeah, it said, unfortunately, due to the amount of home runs the Mets have hit, we've run out of pyrotechnics.
Well, you know what? Based on the fact that New York City's got plenty of firearms and stuff like that, they probably could just go out in the parking lot and find someone that's got some.
That's still a miserable franchise. It's just at least the Yankees can claim wins and success here in recent memory.
You don't like the SEC's Pete Alonso setting the New York Mets home run mark with 253?
I actually like Polar Bear. He's a good dude.
Who irritates you the most on the Mets roster? Because you just said you like Polar Bear.
Yeah, I like Polar Bear.
You like Lindor? Nemo?
I don't really have a problem with any of their guys.
There's one right answer, Landry.
It's just a franchise. And Soto doesn't bother me that bad.
He should.
No, he's a really good player. I'm sorry that he screwed you guys in your eyes.
He's not that. He's super overrated.
So think about this, about my team. So the Rockies had gone 220 games. It was a Major League Baseball record without a shutout, without them performing a shutout on another team. They did that about a month ago at Coors Field against the Cardinals. So then last night at Busch Stadium, which obviously not a mile above sea level like Denver, they shut out the Cardinals again. It's just baseball is just you just never know what you're going to see on a nightly basis. It's amazing.
This season, man.
So you're just like, we need kickoff to happen.
We need kickoff so bad. This is why I want the week sub-zero games.
Like, we want games to start like last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me some games starting tonight, leading all the way through the weekend.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, baseball.
Yeah. Well, the Braves are back at it tonight, though.
Okay.
They have not postponed the season for either one of our teams.
But those guys still need game checks, Pat.
Carlos Carrasco, 2-2 with a 6.18 ERA. He is on the bump for the Braves going up against David Peterson, who is 7-5, 2.98 ERA. So, meanwhile, it might be a good idea maybe to shut Spencer Strider down.
Yeah.
Because he matched a career high with 8 runs allowed in 4 innings. He's now allowed 19 hits, 13 runs, 5 homers in his last 8 2/3 innings pitched. Bit of a rough stretch.
That is not a stat line you want.
No. I did read where Chris Sale, he threw, I think, 4 innings last night down in the minors.
Yep.
And they expect him to have a couple more minor league starts, and then he'll be back.
Well, going back to our prize picks last night, I told you that Nemo had owned.
Yeah, and he homered again last night.
Strider.
Yeah.
And he does it again last night.
Yeah.
Do you even want Chris Sale to come back? Yes, you want him to come
we're
back.
Paying him. Yes.
But
he's missed ever since he had that great 9-inning performance and he dove off the mound to make that play. We have not seen Chris Sale since.
No, I know. I'm just he's older.
He's a gamer.
He is.
No, he wants to get out there and play.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to see him again.
Okay.
Well, the good news, we're 10 days away.
No free rides.
From football season. So start on Monday. We can concentrate fully on the college football season.
Adios, Braves. I'll still be watching.
Coming up later in the show, 10:45, Brian Edwards, Vegas Insider, will continue to look at that Week 0 games, the games that he likes, including that Kansas State-Iowa State game that he talked about last week. Coming up at 11:30, Shahan J. Haraja. You like that? Kind of rolls off the tongue.
Shahan J. Haraja.
He joins the program from CBS Sports. He's a Baylor graduate.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done a lot of coverage of the Big 12. Now he covers the whole national college football scene for CBS Sports. He'll join the program. Tyler McComas at noon. We'll get the very latest on the Venmo gambling escapades of John Mateer. See what's going on there. And Eric Scopel will go out west. Talk to Duck Territories' Eric Scopel as he will give us details about a top 10 Oregon team this year, how their fall camp is looking, and why do they keep coming into the state of Alabama and stealing our players?
They're doing it.
I need an answer. Why are they doing that?
It's the power of the almighty dollar, my friend.
They got Tank last year. They got the Parker kid.
That's why you can't let these SEC coaches go to the Big Ten, Pat.
Well, this is the time to take a kid from the deep south to Eugene, Oregon, and say, hey, a little bit of a difference here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see what that
December
visit
looks like. Would you rather run wind sprints here or there?
It's a great selling point.
By the way, here's a brand new pair of shoes for you to run those sprints in.
And we will soon be selling them in stores with your name on them.
Yes, on the back of them.
Yeah.
But don't disregard the briefcase full of money.
No, it's just about branding.
Yeah.
Speaking of branding, I know you'll be tuned in tonight to the Heights podcast.
Yeah. You better believe it.
Molly will be.
Oh, I definitely will be.
Yeah.
First thing I hear when I walk in this morning, are you going to be tuned in at 7 o'clock tonight? To what?
From Landrum?
Oh, the podcast.
From Molly.
No, it's
From
from Molly.
Landrum. It is from
From
Landrum.
Molly asking
It's actually
me.
6 o'clock.
7
6 o'clock.
Eastern,
7
6
Eastern.
Central.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good clarification.
You're welcome.
So a little early Pat Ponders question. The all-time podcast record in regards to views, listeners, is a podcast that originated, I believe, in India that was in English and in Muslim. It was a relationship podcast.
Of course.
144 million.
For one episode?
That is the Guinness
Wow.
Book of World Record for the largest audience of a single podcast, single episode. Now, the Elon Musk, Joe Rogan podcast did about 67 million.
That's a good one.
So the question is,
There's a lot of people in India.
does tonight eclipse the Guinness World Record of 144 million, or does it eclipse the 67 million that Elon Musk and Joe Rogan had?
Ooh,
I don't think it gets
so.
close to either of them, honestly.
I don't know
I
how
don't know.
close it gets to the Elon and Rogan one. I can't see it doing more than
No, that's-
67 million.
Just to clarify, that's not like a certain time frame. That's like all time listens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't know if that was like the first 24 hours.
No,
or,
this is,
okay.
it just says, prime example, the record of 144 million, and it's continuing to build.
Hey, refresh me again. What are we doing on this podcast?
Tonight?
Yeah.
I
I
don't
know
even
it's just
know.
Taylor Swift on there
Yeah.
with Travis.
Okay.
It's her first ever podcast.
Oh, it's his first ever podcast.
Yes.
And then supposedly in the podcast.
She's going to reveal her album cover. And
Now, there was someone that went on TMZ yesterday, and she thinks that there's going to be an announcement that they're getting married. So they believe that it will be not only the news about the record, but that they're announcing that they are indeed getting married.
If they do get
The
married,
smile on Molly's face right now.
Oh, I would love that.
and that's great if they've decided to get married and it happens on this podcast. But please, can we not have a 2-year engagement?
Oh, it's going to be long. It's going to
Insufferable.
be drawn out.
Yeah.
Does she pay more for her wedding than Bezos paid?
Maybe so.
What was his, 500 million?
Yeah, I don't think we're getting anywhere in that
Yeah,
territory.
I don't think we are either.
Wasn't it 500 million?
I don't know.
Something
For what?
Jeff Bezos'
Bezos'
wedding?
his most recent wedding.
I can't even. What do you even spend $500 million on for a wedding?
That's
lot
my
of,
question.
A lot of geese, a lot of swans,
What,
Maybe
it's the
they're
going
including,
rate on
like,
a
fountain
flock
with
of
pure
geese?
gold.
Maybe they're including travel, like they provide travel and
For
private
yeah,
planes.
private jets and
Yeah.
stuff for everybody. I could see that, but
Amazon drones dropping diamonds onto the guests.
yeah, I bet the gift bags were extraordinary.
So Brittany Hodak.
Okay, no, it was only 55.6 million.
Oh,
Yeah, a little bit different.
only 55 million.
Brittany Hodak told TMZ Live on Tuesday that she believes that not only will be the announcement about the album, but she believes that there could be some personal announcements as well.
With child?
If you catch our drift, and they did a emoji with a wedding ring.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Here's my album cover. Also, we're living in sin. Is that going to be the announcement?
That's it.
Is that the announcement?
Maybe that's the name of the album.
Yep, living in sin.
Living in sin.
I like threading the needle, but living in
Ooh,
sin.
threading the needle. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll be a song title on the new record. I don't know how many. There are a lot of Taylor Swift fans out there. Don't get me wrong. Are there 67 million Taylor Swift fans out there? Maybe there are.
So the Heights podcast ranks around 9th or 10th in America in regards to
sports or just overall?
overall.
I got a
that's
name of a song if she
impressive.
ever breaks up with him. We'll call it the
I
tight
believe
end
they
dump.
were given $100 million when they signed the deal for the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Did you miss that? Tight end dump. I think
Tight
it
end
would be
dump,
good.
that's Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually a play call. It's the old tight end dump.
Mm-hmm.
Just run, turn around.
You're just giving out free advice here. She should pay you residuals.
Yes, she should. I would like to be on her payroll. I think.
Yeah.
So I sent this to Molly last night. So in the Cardinals game notes for the series against the Rockies, they literally listed this. It says, by some modern miracle, the Cardinals have managed to go undefeated on the same day that singer and entertainer Taylor Swift has announced an original album. Speak Now, back in 2010, they beat the Phillies 7-1. Red, on August 13th, 2012, they beat Arizona 8-2. When 1989 came out, back in 2014, they beat the Reds 6-5. When Reputation came out, they beat the Padres 6-2. Lover, back in 2019, they beat the Mets. Folklore, that came out in 2023, they beat Kansas City. Midnights, that came out in 2022, they beat Atlanta 6-3. Life of a Showgirl, which she announced it on Monday.
And did y'all win?
We beat Colorado 3-2.
There you go.
I just want to say whoever wrote that in the game notes, Folklore did not come out in 2023. It came out in 2020.
Oh.
Just saying.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Good catch, Molly.
Maybe you should send them a note.
Nick
It's in the-
Castellanos on Monday was hitless.
I think it's just a typo because it's in the correct order
Hmm.
of albums. It's just probably just a typo, but yes.
Well, Castellanos is more of like a somebody passes away type of a situation.
You're right. It's more tragedy than it is.
I was about to say, it's when something really bad and unfortunate happens in the world.
So, yeah. So I bet a few people will be tuned in tonight.
Do you wear sequin outfits when you watch and listen to Taylor?
I mean, if I would have gone to the Eras tour, I would have.
Do you
but
wear
it's
red
appropriate.
lipstick?
I'm not. No, not since college. I had to wear so much of it in college. I'm just kind of
Yeah.
over it.
So do you, because my wife is going to be curious because I'm sure she's going to watch it. Is it on YouTube, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess I know what my afternoon's going to consist.
Y'all gonna have pre-party lead up?
I might find something for myself to do while she does that. So yeah, she can have whatever pre-party she wants.
Does that include hitting yourself with a hammer in the face?
That'll come after.
Okay.
So you don't believe that it will eclipse the How to Succeed in Relationships with Yasser Al-Huzami?
No, I do not.
That guy is great.
He's fantastic.
Probably make he retired after one episode of a podcast.
Yeah, 144 million
Yeah.
plus and counting.
Let's syndicate this thing.
Yeah.
It changed the way we love each other.
Mm-hmm. That was the key, though.
I kind of want to go listen to it now. I'm
in
curious.
Muslim and English. That's the key.
So is the New Heights podcast doing a bilingual thing?
I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Golly, I wish I could do an accent, but I won't.
Probably a good call.
And I feel like the accent would be better with it. Man, I could do it on the Taylor Swift podcast. Yeah. All right. What's the name of
We're
the
starting off
other
strong
podcast?
today.
What's
No.
the name of the what?
The other podcast, the one in India.
The title was How to Succeed in Relationships with Yasser Al-Huzami.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nasser. Yes, sir.
All right, coming up next on Three Man Front, what's going on with the play calling at Auburn? A very interesting tweet yesterday afternoon by Justin Hokanson, who covers the Auburn Tigers. A little bit convoluted. I heard Conrad and Damian talking about it this morning. We'll get into that next. Who's calling the plays and what down? Very interesting. We'll get into that next. Your calls, 1-800-239-WJOX, and your texts at 205-834-9450. It is 10:19. Welcome back on this Wednesday. Pat Landrum, Molly Conrad. We'll talk to Brian Edwards from Vegas Insider. He will join the program at 10:45. We'll talk a little NFL and some college football early season lines. A little bit of baseball news, and this is very interesting how the people of Minnesota will react to this. But if you remember, if you follow the Minnesota Twins, the Pollitt family, they have owned the Twins for a very long time. And it was announced a few months back that they were looking to sell the franchise. They're about $450 million in the hole, the team, the franchise is, in regards to their debt. And so they were looking to get out. Well, at the trade deadline, they basically purged their entire roster. They got rid of anybody that had any value. And most people thought, okay, well, they're paying the debt down so that whoever would potentially buy the team, it would be more sexy to whoever comes in and buys it. make it more appetizing. Well, the Polid family has just announced that they are no longer selling the team. They are going to take on some minority ownership groups, but if you're a Minnesota Twins fan, knowing that that was the main reason why they decided to purge that roster at the All-Star break and get rid of all the guys that you buy jerseys and hats for and things of that nature, and now they have decided not to sell the team.
Well, that's because they're owned by the New York Yankees, Pat.
Oh. I didn't realize that.
We have a 124-44 record against them in the last 25 years. Pretty good. I wish we played the Twins every day.
That is a good record. No, seriously, you're a fan.
I'd be livid.
Mm-hmm.
Just like last week, the Braves reported incredible earnings by their parent company, mainly because of the Battery and because of the real estate holdings that they have there. And if the Braves don't go out and do the things to make that team better than the fourth worst record in all of Major League Baseball, if I was someone like Landrum, I'd be really pissed off.
Yep.
Because they're making money off of you, the fan.
And they're not
To
putting
go
it back
watch
into
they're
that,
not putting it back in.
that miserable product that's
Yeah.
out on the field.
Yeah, the Braves making plenty of money, folks.
So big offseason coming up.
Yep.
I support the Braves 12 months out of the year.
So, but
Financially.
Financially, there you go.
I do. And it'll stop. I'll cut it off. I want some wins and I want some winners.
Well, better luck next year, unfortunately.
Well, the Alabama heat and humidity can be brutal, but don't let it affect your home and family. Keep them comfortable with an affordable Trane cooling system. They've been recognized as America's most trusted brand for 11 consecutive years, and they're the official cooling partner here at Jox. So go and find a comfort specialist near you at Trane.com.
all right, so I was listening to the Damian Mitchell show with special guest Conrad Van Order this morning from 6 to 7.
I
on
love it when
Jox.
Conrad's on.
Yeah, I do too. It's nice when Damian lets
It's a
him
nice
talk.
little change up.
Every
Yeah.
now and then.
Lets him talk. So for those that did not hear it, you brought up something that is extremely fascinating. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. I've just never heard of this before. And I know we got a lot of coaches in the high school and the college ranks. They listen to our show on a daily basis. So Conrad is about to tell you what the current setup is at Auburn for play calling. And if this is the norm, please let us know on the text line, 205-834-9450.
Yeah, and we can get into a little bit. I thought Damian did a really good job of breaking this down and kind of giving his perspective on it this morning. But there were some Auburn fans that were frustrated. Oh, you're turning this into a story, and it's not a story. And more than anything, it's just for clarity, because like Pat said, this is something that we haven't heard a whole lot of. So as it's currently set up, based on talking to Derek Nix, Ken Austin, some of the other offensive coaches on the staff there at Auburn, the way that the play calling goes for them is that Derek Nix, the offensive coordinator, he handles the strategy and play calling for first down plays. Then Hugh Freeze, the head coach, he handles the strategy and play calling on second down plays. And then Ken Austin, who is the quarterback's coach, he handles the strategy and play calling on third down plays, with the caveat that Hugh Freeze, as the head coach, has the right to overrule any of the play calls that Derek Nix or Ken Austin suggest. But essentially, in summary, first down, Derek Nix, second down, Hugh Freeze, third down, Ken Austin. That is their strategy for how they approach play calling on offense.
I have never heard that before. In all the years of covering the Southeastern Conference in college football, I've never heard that.
I haven't either.
First and foremost, Auburn finished 6th in the SEC in total offense last year, ahead of Alabama. So if that was the way that they were running it last year, or any year that Hugh Freeze coaches a football team, it's been pretty successful.
Yeah.
The way they do it.
Well, with the exception last year of in the red zone.
Well, yeah.
And then I have to ask the question, was that Hugh Freeze?
Good question. So I just don't know if this is something that we've just never heard of before, or somebody just they've never come out in public and said this is what they do. But Auburn finished, top end of the SEC in total offense last year. Better than Alabama.
Well, remember there were some questions, and Lane Kiffin kind of made light of it when he lost Derek Nix, and it was, hey, contractually he's got to be a play caller, something about the contract and the verbiage in it. Ken Austin, though, being the guy on third down.
Okay, so first down is who?
Derek Nix, offensive coordinator.
Second down is Freeze.
Hugh Freeze.
Third down is Austin.
Ken Austin, yes.
And then
But at any time that Hugh
Freeze
Freeze
wants to overrule.
Yes,
Right.
he has the final say so
Which
on
is,
the play call.
if you have an
that's-
offensive-minded coach, that's typically,
Yeah,
well, even if you don't, you got a guy who's like, no, let's not throw it. Let's run it here.
Well, and even when you break it down with, all right, let's say, maybe Derek Nick's a little more impact in the running game, right? Would make sense he handles first down because typically you're going to run the ball more often on first down. Second down, probably getting a little more into the RPO game, right? You're going to have more options at your disposal. So it makes sense that Hugh Freeze would maybe be in charge of that strategy. And then typically on third down, right, unless it's third and short, you're throwing the football. So it makes sense that you would have the quarterbacks coach in there. And the way that Damian laid it out this morning is essentially, in the week leading up to a game, you probably have those coaches that, all right, this is what I'm going to focus on. And then they all communicate at the end of the week. This is what I envision for first down. This is what I envision for second down. This is what I envision for third down. And then on the actual field of play on Saturdays, maybe it is Hugh Freeze that's calling all the shots. It's just in the week of preparation, it's more divided.
Is there ever a situation where Ken Austin goes, man, Derek, you want to give it a try here on third down?
One thing's for sure that all of these coaches have to be on the same page.
They do.
for this because you've always got to be a play ahead of time. You know what I'm saying?
It just seems like a lot of communication constantly going on, but that's not a bad thing.
But there also seems like that there's a lot of opportunities for mistakes because of the communication.
Yeah, for sure. On the flip side, you'd say, well, if you only have a coordinator, you're going to leave it up to him, then you're leaving it on one guy and not having differing opinions and people to kind of be your, hey, hold up now.
See, I kind of look at this like the golf thing a little bit in the sense that if Auburn's struggling and not struggling recruiting, no one cares about the golf thing, right? But when you're struggling in recruiting, it's an easy thing to point to. Same thing for this. Like Pat just said, clearly if this is the way that they've operated, it's worked out for them. But the second that you start to struggle offensively, this is one of those things that the fan base can go back to and go, well, is it because y'all are overcomplicating the play calling process?
And listen, maybe this is something that they installed in the spring. Maybe this is something that they didn't run last year. Because I would think that whether it's Justin Hokanson or Nathan King or Jason Caldwell or Cole Pinkston or whoever that covers Auburn that's in that building every single day, I would think that would have come up last year.
Maybe,
or
but
the year before. And we're not trying to make it a big deal. It's just the fact that I'd never heard of basically somebody else having a different down.
More than giving me pause, because it really doesn't give me pause. If this is a system they're going to go with and they think that works, then fine, it needs to work. But I just find it fascinating because I'm on a sideline. That's not how it works where I am on Saturday. Now you have differing opinions, and sometimes you do have that back and forth where head coach is going to overrule in the headset. You just got to be definitive. That's why burning of timeouts, delay of game penalties that you will see, sometimes that has nothing to do with the quarterback or the other 10 guys on the field. That is all about the coaches, and they can't get together on the sideline.
Well, and listen, that will be the first thing. If Auburn gets out of the gate slow this year, that is going to be the first thing that people are going to criticize, especially offensively. If it just looks like it's kind of offense by committee and it's not a definitive, this is what we're doing every single time.
If it looks like it's two different offenses.
Absolutely. Then folks are going to just absolutely jump all over that. So just interesting. We'd love to hear from you. 1-800-239-WJOX, 205-834-9450. This is Three Man Front on Jox. We will get to your text messages coming up next at 205-834-9450. And it's brought to you by Courtesy GMC because, school's back and it's time to roll into a new season in style with Courtesy GMC and Trustful. Brand new pricing out today. That's right. Fresh off the presses right now. You can get up to $17,000 off all new GMC Sierra 1500. $17,000. Save up to $13,000 off the powerful Sierra 2500 HD truck. I've owned a couple of Yukons, and you know how this SUV outperforms every other SUV in its class. You can save up to $5,000 on every Yukon, Yukon XL, and the all-new Acadia. Plus, every new GMC comes with a 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty there at Courtesy GMC. That's peace of mind that will last. Hurry to Courtesy GMC in Trustful, where Courtesy's got the lowest prices in the Southeast. Check them out in Trustful, right off of I-459 exit 32, or online at courtesybirmingham.com.
Going back to the coordinator rotation and the play calling duties at Auburn. So now we can specifically look at a down and what we view as a bad play and just have a certain individual that we can blame now.
Now it's a triad of people.
I was saying something to Conrad. You've got analysts, and they break down tendencies and trends and all kinds of stuff on these staffs. Does somebody go back and look at Derek Nix as a play caller and say, what are his tendencies on first down? What does Hugh Freeze do on second down? I don't know about Ken Austin on third down.
That makes it a lot more difficult.
I just love the idea of a post-game press conference of, all right, Derek, so what were you thinking on first down there? We saw that you, out of the 12 first down plays you ran today, you ran it 11 of the 12 times. Oh, well.
I know Hugh was going to throw on second down, so we had to run it on first.
Exactly. Like you just got guys throwing each other under the bus, which I don't think that's going to happen. It's just.
I'm glad we know that now, though. That will be another fascinating angle to watch in Auburn football this season. Text line is open 205-834-9450. Going back to conversations about a podcast that's hitting tonight. Jeff Bezos worth $250 billion, says one of our listeners. His wife worth $1 billion. It was only a $55 million wedding for the Bezos. Drake says, hey, Pat, Billy Napier did it with the offensive line coach and the wide receiver coach. All called plays in the games.
Okay. I was unaware of that, but thank you for clarifying.
Did they start that during their winning streak at the end of the year last year? Is that the secret sauce?
Scott says, sounds like the Three Stooges at Auburn. Scotty and Alpine, sorry. That play calling model sounds really dumb. Just one man's thoughts. That's why you need three men's thoughts.
How many coaches to change a light bulb? Just one. How many to call play? 3.
This one rolling in from Montgomery. Thanks for listening down there. Auburn doesn't have a recruiting issue. Last 2 classes are superb. Harsin ran off 24 players. Harsin only signed 18 players in year 1. Harsin only had 10 committed players when he was fired a month before signing day. Freeds needs this year 3 to show what he can do. He better. I think he knows that. Auburn has broken too many cooks. Tim Cook. That's a cook you'd like to have in your kitchen, right?
Yeah.
With a checkbook.
Yeah. Absolutely. Great adult swim segment as well.
Tim says it certainly explains the delay of game penalties that Auburn had last year.
I'm with Pat. I would just be very curious to know, is this something that was happening last year or the last 2 years at Auburn? Is this a new thing for this year? That's where a lot of my curiosity lies. What was the genesis of this?
Ken wants to know who's talking to the quarterback in the headset. It's not going to be Freeze, I wouldn't think.
I would think Ken
think
Austin.
Yeah.
Freeze deflecting blame. Nobody remembers a second down play unless it's a touchdown. Be interesting. All of Auburn's touchdowns have come on second down this season.
That would be a great stat.
Let's go back to the Cal game, year 1 in Berkeley. When in that live stand-up on ESPN, he straight up told that reporter, Yeah, I had to jump in there and call plays, and that was one that I called.
Oh yeah, I forgot because his first year at Auburn, he didn't call the plays, right?
He threw Philip Montgomery all up under that bus.
Yeah,
and ran over him.
Ran over him twice.
Yeah.
Gavin saying, did y'all know that Texas is the new Alabama?
That's what The Athletic is reporting. How many national championships has Texas won?
That's my thing. Let's win a national championship
In state fairs?
in the last 20 years, and then let's have a conversation.
In chicken fried bacon?
Let's win a national championship. Let's win an SEC championship. Let's beat Georgia. There's a lot of benchmarks they still have to clear, I think.
Bama hater. Pat Landrum can give us your unbiased moderator's vote on the debates. We know the polls are skewed by Bama fans.
We're still on the debate.
Yeah. Look, Bama hater, I said I thought you held your own. I'll say draw.
I will say this. I thought the polling was out of whack. I thought it was much closer.
Yes.
Than what the listeners voted.
I thought Bama Hater did a great job.
He did.
I don't know what else he wants from us.
No,
other than we've complimented him multiple times.
Maybe a T-shirt.
I think you need to declare him the winner, Conrad.
Okay, you won, Bama Hater. You can be the winner.
There you go.
There it is.
If that helps you sleep at night.
He has conceded. Bama Hater won the debate.
Yep, I lost.
See how easy that was to take care of?
Wow.
Well, when you're dealing with adults, it's normally pretty easy to deal with that kind of stuff.
There it is. There it is.
I just thought we had all moved on with our lives, but I guess
not. Mark says, be careful what you hear regarding play calling at Auburn. Don't fall victim to fake news. Hey, we can only go by what they tell us.
And that is from the coaches' mouths themselves. They said that. That is not us.
That was nobody reading between the lines.
No.
That was direct quote from the coaches.
Yes. They laid that out the other day when talking to the media.
From the state of Georgia, listening on the Jox app, get ready. Freeze fails this year, and Jimbo is his replacement. That's all, folks. Jimbo Fisher. Bring him back.
I didn't know where that was going for a second.
That was Porky Pig.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know
That's
where we were going.
I didn't know how far back you guys went.
No, I know. I just could have gone a lot of different directions there.
That's kind of what I hear.
Well, I was just thinking when somebody asked, well, who's talking to the quarterback in the headset? I'm just thinking, man, could you imagine Jimbo being the coach that talks to you in the headset?
Slow down.
I don't know what you're saying, coach.
87,000 people in here. You're a dang auctioneer.
Yes.
Oh, love your text. Keep them flying in on the Jox text line.
Is that old tree leaning a little bit too close to your house? You need to call Golston Tree Service at 205-337-4443. They can help you make that right decision before that tree comes down on your house or another part of your property. They're licensed and insured at Golston Tree Service. They're ready to handle any job, big or small. Call Golston today, 205-337-4443. Golston also offers that very important 24-hour emergency tree service. So if anything happens overnight during one of these summer storms, they can come out to your house and they can take care of it for you. Call them 205-337-4443. Don't risk it any longer. Call Golston Tree Service today. More three-man front. We'll go to Vegas Insider next. Brian Edwards on Jox.
10:45, three-man front here on this Wednesday. Our Vegas insider Brian Edwards is going to join us momentarily. How about a member of the Stark Exterminators team joining you at your home or your place of business? Now the warm weather, it's still here. It's going to be here, let's be honest, for the next couple of months. Even though we say fall and we think football weather, you're still going to have to endure the warm weather. And unfortunately, that creates a great habitat for the stinging insects, the biting kind, the kind that you don't want around for the backyard events, for the outdoor hosting, or heaven forbid, they're in your home. Guys, you know what I'm talking about. When the wife starts screaming, says, come and get it, come and get it. You got to go and kill something or shoo something out of your house. Stark Exterminators, they're here to help. Family owned for over 61 years. One of their professional team members will come to your home, your place of business, inspect it thoroughly inside and out, like they did at the Roberts house over 3.5 years ago. They'll come up with a customized, tailor-made solution for you. All of their methods that they're going to use in their treatments are going to be the most environmentally conscious available. That's great for your house. That's great for your family. It's great for the environment. It's great for your pets. That means your family. Stark Exterminators. Call for the free home or business pest inspection today. 855-STARK now, or go to starkexterminators.com and always tell them that Landrum from Jox sent you.
So the Auburn Tigers, they're back on the practice field this morning. We'll hear from the defensive coaches around 12 noon today. Meanwhile, Alabama, they're on the practice field as we speak, and Coach Kane Womack, defensive coordinator for Alabama, he's going to be made available at around 11:45 today. So we'll get to hear from both defensive side of the ball coaches for Auburn and Alabama around lunchtime today. So we'll keep our eye on that.
I want to ask Kane Womack, hey, why does that offense look so good?
Why can't you get any turnovers?
Why can't
Kane?
you get turnovers? What's going on here?
Only 3 interceptions the entire fall, according to Kalen DeBoer. I was told yesterday that Ty Simpson has thrown 1 of the 3 interceptions.
Was one quarterback responsible for the other 2?
I do not know that answer.
Oh.
We're trying to effort Brian Edwards. Apparently, we've got some phone issues. I am texting him now, Conrad, as we're doing this on the fly, telling him to call us.
You want to put a wager on if he responds in the next minute?
He is texting me back as we speak. Love the old 3 dots showing up on my laptop.
I'm going to guess he says, hey, man, sorry about that. I'm at a craps table.
There he is. He's calling now. Well, he's getting excited.
Conrad probably dialed the wrong number.
He probably did.
You know how he is.
Well, one thing's for sure. Conrad is actually going to be down there on Friday.
Yep.
So maybe him and Brian will be.
He never takes Brian up on the offer.
I know.
Of the, hey, I'll transfer or transport you and your delinquent friends around for one of your many get-togethers. I can't believe he hasn't had any guys' trips. Nobody else is getting married.
No, I'm going to visit my dad this weekend, and then in a couple weeks, we're doing a guys' trip, but with the wives as well. So
that's not a guys' trip.
That's
no,
not a guy's trip.
It's not a guys'
trip. A guy's trip with the wives. How about just a couple's trip?
It's a family trip.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
All right, joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline from Vegas Insider, MajorWager.com, Brian Edwards joins us. Brian, I hope you're doing well, man. We are so close to the beginning of the college football season. How pumped are you about your Florida Gators getting Lagway potentially back?
He was never not around.
Well, I mean, he was around, but he had like a hangnail issue, so he didn't practice. He wasn't part of the 11 on 11s.
By the way, guys' trip with the wives is such an oxymoron.
It is, isn't it? No, that's.
I realized it the second I said it, Brian.
Yeah. He needs to look you up Friday. He's going to be right down the road from you. I don't know why you guys can't hook up and have an adult beverage and talk sports.
Is he going to be all the way in Destin? Because, that's 30 minutes
No.
away.
So I'm going to visit my dad. He actually lives in Santa Rosa.
See?
All right, well then, come on, Conrad, let's go.
See?
Let's go.
All right, I'll see. I'm playing golf one day, but other than that, I think I'm pretty free, so I'll hit you up.
Okay.
Hit me up.
Yeah.
Hit me up. I will definitely be watching the prelims somewhere at a bar on Saturday. I can't speak. I don't know where I'll be for the pay-per-view, but I will be watching the prelims around 5-ish at one of the local watering holes.
Okay.
All right, so last week you were talking about the big game over in Dublin, Ireland between Iowa State and Kansas State, but I want to go NFL in week 1 if you will allow me to. The Thursday night game, Buffalo at Minnesota, right? That's the one we're looking at?
Oh, no.
No. That's not the NFL. No, we're going college.
Not the Vikings and the Bills. That's the Gophers and the Bulls. I should have clarified that.
Gotcha. All right. So that Thursday night game between PJ Fleck's Row the Boat Gophers against the Bills of Buffalo of the MAC.
Correct. All right. I like Buffalo a lot here. Now it's 16.5. So let's buy the half point to the key number of 17. We know PJ Fleck, regardless of the circumstances, he wants to run the ball early and often, but he's got a stud running back in Darius Taylor that, is like the best player on the team. He's got a redshirt freshman quarterback in Drake Lindsey making his first career start. So he's going to want to run the ball even more than usual. And he's like that again, regardless of the circumstances. So the key to this handicap, in my opinion, is Buffalo's run defense, or put differently, it's front seven defensively. And turns out their defensive line is their best position group on the team. In fact, Phil Steele's national unit rankings have their D-line ranked 44th in the country. I mean, any MAC team that's ranked in the national unit rankings, that's pretty good. They're 44th. They're 72 at linebacker. They're 56 on the O-line, 48 at running back. They went 9-4 straight up last year. They ended the season on a 5-game winning streak. They won 7 games by double-digit margins. And their middle linebacker, Red Murdoch, first-team All-MAC last year, second in the nation in tackles with 156. He had 16.5 TFLs, 7 forced fumbles to lead the nation. He had 4 forced fumbles in 2023. And so I looked this up. His 11 career forced fumbles are 3rd in MAC history, 13th in college football history. Did not look this up. I'm going to take a wild guess. He only trails in MAC history, I'm going to guess, Max Crosby and Khalil Mack. So pretty good company. Their DN, Kobe Stewart, led the MAC in sacks last year with 9.5. Their other linebacker, Deion Crawford, he had 15 TFLs. He was all MAC last year. And then their 2 defensive tackles, George Wolo and Cornell Evans, are both preseason all MAC and Phil Steele's MAG. They've also got a workhorse running back in Al-Jay Henderson, 1,078 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns, 5.3 yards per carry average. I think Buffalo keeps it close. They're 10-5 against the spread with 3 outright wins since 2017 as double-digit underdogs. 9 starters back on defense, 7 on offense. I like Buffalo plus 17.
Man,
you sure about all that, Brian?
Woo!
Boy.
I was on VSiN last night, and they told me I made a pretty compelling case. So
no, that's a heck of a compelling case.
Look,
are you kidding me?
Yep. Fire in right now. Max Mac. Let's continue with this. The coach that's known as the daddy of the Mac, Chuck Martin, Miami of Ohio, going to take on the very feared Wisconsin Badgers. You like another Mac team in this one?
Yeah, I like Miami of Ohio plus 17.5. They went 9-5 straight up last year, but 3 of their losses were 2 road games against Power 4 teams at Northwestern, at Notre Dame, and then they lost to Cincinnati at Paul Brown Stadium where the Bengals play. Their other losses at Toledo and Ohio in the MAC championship game. So no shameful L's. They thumped Colorado State 43-17 in their bowl game, and they've got DeQuan Finn at quarterback. Now, he was at Toledo for a long time, 30 starts. Then he started twice at Baylor last year, lost the job. So he transfers back to the MAC, but he was outstanding in the MAC, 6,984 career passing yards, 63-23 TDI and T ratio, 1,699 career rushing yards. And they've got 7 of their top 12 tacklers back from a defense that only gave up 18.8 points per game. They're 6-3 against the spread with 1 outright win as a double-digit dog since their bowl game in 2019. I thought that Luke Fickell was a spectacular hire at Wisconsin, but it has not worked out, and mainly because of their schedule. I don't think they're going to make the bowl game this year, and I think he's going to be on a boiling hot seat. They may be pretty good, but, I mean, if you look at Wisconsin's schedule, I mean –
I'm not trying to throw Coach Fickell's wife under the bus, but she was the one that was very proactive in meeting with the Wisconsin officials and trying to get this thing consummated.
Really? Well, yeah. It hasn't worked out. And look, I mean, if they go 7-5, he should keep his job because they play at Bama, at Michigan, at Oregon, at Indiana, at Minnesota. They've got Ohio State at home. They've got Iowa at home when Iowa's got 2 weeks to prepare, and Wisconsin's at Michigan the week before. They've got Washington at home they could lose, and they got Illinois at home they could lose. So we'll see on the Badgers. It could be a rough year.
That is Brian Edwards, who joins us every Wednesday. We are so close, and we're going to get great information from Brian, as you just heard. 2 MAC games. I love it. That's fantastic.
I better hear from you, Conrad.
Yeah, Conrad.
Yeah,
Oh, you will,
Conrad.
Brian. Don't worry.
Okay. Brian, text me if you don't hear from him.
All right.
You call your Uncle Brian when you're down there.
Yeah. Just don't call him if you get thrown in the pokey.
I bet Brian
the
knows.
He's like up in Defuniak, 45 minutes away. Conrad's going to have to call his dad.
Oh, right on I-10, Definiak Springs.
Is that where they have the camps outside? If you get detained, you gotta live outside.
I haven't been there, Landon.
Have you been to
I don't-
Alligator Alcatraz yet? You live in Florida.
It's a
Look,
big
man,
state.
That's like 10 hours south.
Thanks, Brian.
Brian. 11 o'clock. That's the second hour of three-man front here on this Wednesday. Appreciate our Vegas insider Brian Edwards going heavy on the MAC early in the season.
I love it.
Buffalo, the Bulls.
Love it.
Plus 17.5 at Minnesota, who won national championships back in the 30s in college football. But he also likes Miami of Ohio, Chuck Martin. I was looking at their place kicker situation since Ram Nicholson got kidnapped before last season. Mm-hmm. And they've got a guy named Dom Diozabin.
Sounds like he belongs in the Southeastern Conference.
Sounds like a pharmaceutical.
Did you say
He does. The last name sounds like something
you
see
a
commercial.
We've got a new trial drug. It's called Diozabin.
Yeah. See?
Yeah, it helps with.
Side effects could be liver failure.
Yeah.
Kidney failure. Loose bowel.
Mm-hmm.
Eyes water.
Yeah.
Leg cramping.
Rash. Loss of limbs.
All of the above.
Uncontrollable.
Loss of eyesight. Loss of hearing.
Oh, that's fun.
Well, something else that's a lot of fun is the Jox kickoff party. So you can celebrate the kickoff to college football with us at the Bill Smith Buick GMC Jox kickoff party. It's going to be Thursday, August 21st at Regions Field, and the only way to go is by winning tickets. So to win a pair of tickets for you and a guest, text the keyword football and your full name to 205-834-9450. That's the keyword football and your full name to 205-834-9450. Winners are drawn and notified daily, and for more information, visit joxfm.com.
So Ty Simpson has officially been named the starting bells on why Ty Simpson was named QB1.
I didn't know about the opening statement. Hey, guys, Ty Simpson's our starter. How's that? Pretty good? Okay, let it ride. What do we got?
Why is Ty Simpson your starter?
There we go. Good follow-up. Ty did a really nice job of, taking care of the football. I think, number one, I think Ty is an incredible playmaker on the move. And I think from there, guys like that, you worry, are they going to be able to train themselves to be able to take care of the football? And I just, even the room in general, Ty led that charge. But Ty didn't throw any picks last week. He's thrown one all camp. We've thrown 4 total this camp. And this spring, I think at this time, we had thrown 15. So I think in general, the guys are understanding the concepts and control the offense a lot better as a room. And Ty was the best at that. And so his ability to command and create out of the pocket, I thought was the best, make great decisions. And he's just much cleaner on some of the things that you expect an older quarterback to be able to do.
Let's hear from QB1. Ty Simpson says this is a dream come true being QB1 in Tuscaloosa.
It's a dream come true. I came here out of high school wanting to be the starting quarterback, and I'm just excited, and I can't, thank my teammates enough for making me look good, and I'm ready for the opportunity.
How happy are you that you sat back for 3 years, sat as a backup? How happy are you now that you made the decision to stay with Alabama?
Yeah, I think it's abnormal for sure to, not transfer in today's day and age. But, I don't regret it at all. I love being here. I love my teammates. I love this university. I learned a lot from the guys that played before me, like Bryce and Jalen. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, and then the guys behind me, like Keelan and Austin. I think that they pushed me and elevated my game to a game that it's never seen before. So we're going to continue to grow each and every day as a quarterback room as a group, and I'm excited about it.
It'll be interesting now, the battle for number 2 in Tuscaloosa. Austin Mack, Keelan Russell. That battle will continue as the second scrimmage for the Tide will be coming up on Saturday. Meanwhile, Auburn spent a good bit of time in the first hour of the show talking about the ongoing question about play calling.
Three-headed monster.
Down on the plains. We've got plenty of text messages coming in at 205-834-9450. Some of you have taken umbrage to us even discussing it, which I'm kind of perplexed why people would have a problem with that. We mentioned it. We had not heard that. We had someone send us an article that the Montgomery Advertiser had a story about it last year.
It was not a criticism. It was more of a fascination. Wow, you got 3 different guys that are calling plays on 3 different downs. If that's the norm for you, fine. And if somebody else, you knew about it last season, fine. This is the first I heard of it.
Yeah, first I heard of it.
My understanding was it was Derek Nix and it was Hugh Freeze. And yes, Ken Austin would have influence.
And input.
Of course, he could offer input, game planning, working with the quarterbacks. That was his deal. Had no idea that he was the specific third down guy. Hope it works. Who's in the red zone? That's my question.
Well, they finished
They
sixth.
were great 20-20 last year.
They were sixth in the SEC in total offense last year.
Yeah.
So better than Alabama.
So for the Auburn fans that are getting defensive, this is not a criticism. Not coming from me. I don't think it's a criticism coming from Pat. No, it may be from Crimson Conrad.
It is not from me. It
Okay.
is. But again, this is from the coach's mouth. This is not something that we are making up out of thin air or something that we saw randomly. This is coming from them speaking with the media earlier this week, and this is how they laid out how the play calling works. And if it worked last year, as Pat said, they were sixth in the conference in offense, clearly it worked. So you don't have a problem here. But we just hadn't heard of it, and it's an interesting conversation. Because there's probably a lot of people listening that go, how would that work?
I've never been watching a TV game where they go, all right, there's a good look. He calls it on first down. There's a good look. It seems like that would be highlighted in a broadcast at some point.
Yeah, and it's also something that under Gus Malzahn, that was an open criticism that a lot of Auburn fans and just college football fans, because he would start the season by saying that, okay, this is the person that is calling plays. And then you start watching an Auburn football game, and Gus Malzahn was the one calling the plays.
Yeah.
So quit with the farce.
Talk to one of his former offensive coordinators in the Shuttlesworth Airport. Have that conversation for an hour.
Yeah. I mean, Gus Malzahn overruled and basically was the play caller, but he told the media it was somebody else. And then
they had certain plays that they could only call.
And then the next year, Gus Malzahn would come out and say, well, I'm gonna take over play calling again. And it just was all convoluted. And that's fine if it works. I don't care if you got a committee of 20.
Well, and ultimately, the head coach should have veto power.
Absolutely.
It all falls on him. He's the one that is going to have to answer the questions at the press conference of why did you call this? So, again, not a criticism. I think it's very interesting. Wonder if there are more programs out there doing this, and we just don't know about it.
And that was my question.
They should probably write a story so their local media can talk about it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Auburn was extremely consistent last year. They were sixth overall in SEC total offense. They were sixth in passing offense, and they were seventh in rushing offense. So, I mean, they were very consistent on both sides of the ball. Granted, it was not the efficiency that Auburn fans needed because they didn't win enough games to be bowl eligible. But from just a pure statistical category, Auburn's offense performed better than Alabama's.
Yep.
And to my knowledge, there was only one person calling the plays at Alabama. And that was Nick Sheridan.
I think that's going to look a lot different this year.
Yeah, pretty much so. But we'd love to hear from you on the text line, 205-834-9450, 1-800-239-WJOX. So I saw this yesterday. Steve Sarkisian, he was asked after their practice about the coaches poll. You know, this is the first time ever that the University of Texas has been a preseason #1 team, according to the coaches poll. So he was asked about the coaches poll and why he's not involved as a voter.
It just takes time. And honestly, to be fair, I don't know. Like, how am I supposed to know? Like, I don't have time on Saturday to watch. Who am I to say that team's better than that team? Shoot, I'm in the hotel getting ready to play. We play, then I got to come visit with you guys for however long, and then I got to go see recruits, and then I want to see my family, and then I want to watch the tape of our game, and all the while there might be Sports Center or something. Oh, that was a cool touchdown they just ran. Like, I don't know. And to be fair, I don't know how I could know. And so and the polls were awesome. If it were the old model, I would have taken the time and I would be a voter. But we're in a whole different era. It's a whole different game. Like the playoff, the coaches poll, I don't know what that means, quite frankly. What it means is, man, you better try to be one of the top 12 teams when the committee votes. Right. Now, if they're looking at the coaches poll, shame on them, right?
Yep.
They got to look at the tape and figure out who the best teams are.
But they're absolutely looking at the coaches poll. I'm glad he said that.
They're looking at everything.
Yes.
I'm just glad we know how he would have voted in our poll question yesterday. He would have picked they were all meaningless.
Well, he's also playing a little bit of Nick Saban there. It's rat poison.
Yeah.
It's because his team was preseason number 1 in the coaches poll. So he's just trying to point out that.
Oh, how do they really know how good we are? We haven't earned anything yet.
No.
Which he's not wrong, but it's just this argument over the last couple of years. Then fully embrace the NFL model. Do exactly what the Big Ten wants to do. I'm not advocating that. I'm just telling you, if more people want to go the route of the NFL like we're paying players and you want to have collective bargaining, then just have the college football playoffs be exactly like it is in the NFL. You have wild card teams, you have division winners, and that's the way it's set up. That's how the bracket is made. And do away with the committee. That's what ultimately it's going to have to come down to anyway. When you get down to just the 65, 66 teams that's going to be able to play big boy football. So go ahead and do it now. So I think that's where he was going with that angle. But don't disagree with what he said. That's why sports information directors, most of the time, they're the ones that will come in and say, hey, coach, this is the ballot that I'm submitting under your name this week. Are you okay with that? And they do a quick once-over, and they go, fire it in. Good to go. Now, maybe the final one, that's when the coaches poll actually names how they voted in the final one. It's not like the AP. The AP is completely transparent. Like, you get the AP every single week. Like, you see the ballots of all 65.
If Sark doesn't have time to do it and he hands it off to his assistant, not coach, but his assistant, whether it's SID, whoever, to do it, why are we calling it the coaches poll? And do you really believe that SID didn't have a whole lot to do on a game Saturday? I mean, they had a whole lot of time to watch all these other games.
What % of coaches do you think actually are the ones that cast their own ballots?
I still think that there's an old school group that will do it.
But do you think the majority of coaches do it? Or are we talking like 25%?
I think it's about that number.
I think 25%.
Yeah, I don't think it's the majority, no. But especially this time of the year and at the very beginning of the season before the college football playoff rankings come out, we gravitate to it.
I do believe in some cases, though, if you got a big game against another top-ranked opponent, you have had instances where a coach will vote for that opponent higher or tell them vote it higher.
Yeah.
I don't want to – if it helps, I don't want our team overlooking these guys.
Yeah.
I agree with that. So it's pretty interesting, him kind of going off on that. So
I respect the honesty. Doesn't have time for it.
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, if you probably don't want your head coach watching all the other games and keeping up with all the other teams, you want them focused on your program.
Nope. Are you tired of worrying about your roof? Whether it's your family home or a commercial building, Abide Roofing delivers tailored solutions for every need. At Abide, it's about more than just a new roof. It's about a team of highly skilled pros who bring their A game every job they do. The work, the precision, the pride, using only the best materials to guarantee durability and lasting value. With over 25 years of trusted experience, they have the expertise to get the job done right the first time. We know dealing with the insurance companies can also be a hassle at times, so don't let that hold you back. The experts at Abide Roofing are masters of navigating the claims process to get you the coverage you deserve. They helped me. I had some problems. My insurance company, they were dragging their feet. Travis Lloyd, outstanding, one of the owners there at Abide Roofing, he got on my roof and he was able to discuss and get that approved through my insurance company. So I got a brand new roof. Your journey with Abide Roofing starts with a free consultation and an estimate. There's no obligation, just solid advice. Ready to get started? Call them today, 205-941-6223. That's 941-6223. Or visit their website, abideroof.com. That's Abide Roofing. Quality, precision, and customer satisfaction every single time at Abide Roofing.
One college football program just got a very generous gift. We'll discuss it as we continue. It's a Wednesday, 3-man front on Jox.
Here's a name from the past. You remember Tom Dundon? He is the owner of the Carolina Hurricanes. He was the brief owner of the Alliance of American Football that included the Birmingham Iron. Remember, he came in mid-season. He was going to save the AAF. He was going to get everything straightened out, make sure everyone got paid. And then about 2 weeks later, he said, "Yep, this thing's fraudulent. We're gone. We're out. Shutting it down."
Yep.
And that's what happened. Well, he owns the Carolina Hurricanes in the National Hockey League. He has just purchased an NBA franchise. He is buying the Portland Trailblazers from Paul Allen's estate. So he will now own a major franchise on the East Coast and the West Coast.
Has Portland gotten any better, the city?
I do not know that.
Okay.
The basketball team's not what it used to be either. So
you think it got a discount?
They've had a rough couple years since.
You talking about back in the days of Kersey, Drexler?
Well, yes, back in those days, but
Duckworth.
even more, yes, because they do have a pretty storied history as a franchise. But even in the last 10 years, they've been pretty good until the last couple of years.
Coming up at the bottom of the hour.
They're doomed to fail now.
From CBS.
Apparently so.
Shahan J. Haraja. He is going to join the program, and we'll talk some national college football. He is based out of the Metroplex in Dallas, Texas. He has covered the Big 12 for a very long time, but he covers the national college football scene. So he will join us at the bottom of the hour. Top of the hour, Tyler McComas from the Ref, KREF Radio in Norman, Oklahoma. He will join the program. We will get the very latest on what's going on. And Conrad, our Twitter poll question of the day, we're just basically asking a very simple question about John Mateer.
Yeah, and I can't take credit for this, unfortunately, because we had one of our wonderful texters this morning throughout this. But how about for a nickname, Moneyline Mateer?
That's good.
I feel like that's a pretty...
I like that.
I feel like that one can catch on pretty quickly. But yes, you can go to our Twitter page at the number 3man front and vote in today's poll question, which reads, do you believe that Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer, when he says the Venmo sports gambling screenshots were just harmless inside jokes with his buddies? Yes or no? 63% of you saying no, you don't believe that it was just an inside joke. 37% of you say yes, it was just a joke, no gambling to be seen here. So about 2/3 of you think he's a liar.
We will talk to Tyler McComas at noon.
I don't totally buy that either. You got to cut up with him on the Venmo app?
Well, and I just think, and to be fair, yes, at least for me, right, when I Venmo my friends stuff, it's normally stupid captions. I've never put sports gambling for one.
It frustrates me that I have to put anything in the Venmo line.
I would agree with that. I wish you could just send the money and not have to do that, but it's the definitive statement of I've never gambled before. I think that's where a lot of people go, we sure you wanted to phrase it that way? But who knows? Maybe he's squeaky clean.
How about the University of Kansas athletic program? They receive an unprecedented $300 million gift from their donor, David Booth. It's believed to be among the largest single gifts in the history of college athletics. Cody, you're on the clock.
I just saw a picture that somebody posted of Ryan Williams, DJ Lagway, and Jeremiah Smith when they were doing the EA Sports video game shoots. And it said, I just found a picture of Kansas's transfer portal class for next offseason.
Kansas plans to allocate $75 million of the $300 million towards launching the second phase of its ongoing transformation of David Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium and construction of the surrounding Gateway District. They have not revealed a timetable for construction and completion of Phase 2. But the funds are going to allow Kansas to move forward with renovating the east side of the stadium for the 2025 football season. The remainder of Booth's gift will establish an annual additional revenue stream for Kansas athletics. So there's your slush fund.
So that second phase, I think, is going to cost around $360 million. So he's given $300 million. And I understand, I think the city of Lawrence, Kansas had a meeting last night in which they have allocated, I think, $90 million to the project.
Just for the stadium renovation?
Just for the second Phase 2, which is supposed to include, if I'm not mistaken, a new hotel outdoor event
Yep.
plaza, student
Restaurants.
housing, retail.
Oh, so we're doing like a
Restaurant
battery
spaces.
type thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
the Jayhawks will open the season with their first home game at the new stadium on August 23rd against Fresno State. And it looks great.
Yeah, it does.
It looks really nice.
Yeah,
what they've
Kansas
done.
put out a video this morning. It had the donor, the alumni, kind of going through his history with Kansas, but it showed, I guess, some projections of what the stadium will look like. Yeah, it's pretty immaculate.
Yeah, it looks very good. And David Booth is a hedge fund guy. He got his undergrad, I believe, his finance degree from Kansas, his master's degree in business. And he has done extremely well for himself. Every type of big board in New York, I'm talking about for the arts. He gives a lot of money to art galleries and things of that nature.
Forbes estimates his net worth $2.8 billion.
Well, now it's only 2.5 after the check.
Well, but after today,
Sure, it's a tax haven. Sure. It's,
This is helping him out as well.
Yeah.
That's a remarkable amount of money.
Yeah, he was wanting to give right before the pandemic. He wanted to give money to just do some upgrades at the stadium. And to Kansas's credit, they said, hold up. We need to think bigger here. Like, we just don't need to put lipstick on a pig here. Like, we need to go bigger and bold. And he said, hey, all right, let's work something out. Give us a plan. And they came up with this plan. Of course, the pandemic kind of held it back a little bit. But a couple years ago, when they decided to basically tear the whole thing down.
I wonder if this is a situation of Bill Self and Lance Leipold going and saying, look, we got this power forward. We got to get him. We've got this quarterback, this running back. We've got to get him. And you go to Booth and you go to Booth and you go to Booth. And finally Booth says, look, I quit.
This is everything I will give you.
Here is a $300 million check. Use this responsibly. Don't ask me for any more money.
I was about to say, put my name on the stadium. We're good to go. We're done here.
I wonder if he's an animal lover and he's like, hey, we're going to allow live mascots in my stadium.
You're just going to go buy a bunch of Jayhawks?
You know, that's one of the stadiums that doesn't allow it.
Really? I
Yeah.
did not know that.
And Bevo wasn't allowed to go there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, time to step up, Tim Cook, right?
Pressure wash.
That won't cost $300 million. Do it for cheap. Mike Griffith will do it for free, honestly. He wants to see it done so badly.
Yeah, and then I saw this morning, and everyone's looking for revenue streams. And I saw where West Virginia signed a deal with a mulch company, which is one of the largest mulch companies apparently in the United States.
It's not the Tennessee guy, right?
No, it's not the guy that
Pine
defrauded all those
the
people.
Pine Trunk.
No, it's not him.
Falcon or whatever.
And you saw where South Carolina earlier this week, they did the deal with Caterpillar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, on the field?
I understand that that's also, there's money involved in that, but that's the company that's going to be doing the stadium renovations at Williams-Brice.
Oh, so you probably got a little discount on the renovations a little bit.
There's some stuff going on there. Nothing illegal. I'm just saying, a little barter action.
Yeah.
Which is all legal.
Auburn needs to hit up Tim Cook. Have that apple. Have that Apple logo right there around the numbers.
The 20s? On the 25s?
Yeah, and do it in orange and blue and white. Look good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, so I would not have guessed this. The David Booth, the Kansas guy, he's worth more money than Tim Cook. I would not have guessed that.
He's kind of had a head start on Tim Cook.
Yeah.
He's had a lot more time to invest. That portfolio probably a little bit deeper.
Tim hides his money in charities. He gives back.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess obviously a lot of that,
I said
the money
not
that went to
hides.
Steve Jobs, but
Yes.
still.
I think they're both very philanthropical.
I mean, if my net worth was $2.5 billion, I think I'd be okay.
All right, coming up next, we're going to talk a little national college football with Shahan J. Haraja. He joins the show next. We're just a little over a week away from the start of the college football season. We are so happy to be joined now on the Higginbotham Hotline here on Three Man Front on Jox. Shahan J. Haraja, he joins the program from CBS Sports. So, Shahan, thanks for joining us, and welcome to the program here in the Deep South.
Having me. It's an honor to be on.
Well, listen, we appreciate it very much. And before we get into the national scene, we've just been talking about this incredible gift that David Booth has given the University of Kansas. We were just remarking about how incredible that new stadium renovation looks in Lawrence. And you've covered the Big 12 for a good while. Just talk about how this and David Booth's family and everything that they've done for that Kansas program, how they have really put this program back on the map in regards to competition, especially with Lance Leipold.
Yeah, it's fascinating, right? I was doing some research on David Booth this morning. Obviously, their stadium's been named David Booth Stadium for a very long time. And it's fascinating. He is the same David Booth that, like, the University of Chicago's business school is named after. He is a big-time philanthropist in the college world. And he has been huge from a football perspective. A lot of programs, especially those with good basketball programs, are pulling away from football, are unwilling to invest at the highest level. And, for a lot of the 2010s, that was the case at Kansas. But I think the combination of David Booth, of Lance Leipold, of their new AD, Travis Goff, who's been there for a few years, they have reinvested in football. And I think they look around and they know, hey, during the last round of realignment, there probably was a piece that made us a little less attractive, that we have been miserable on the football field for so long. Well, they are doubling down in a big way, whether that is giving a competitive number in revenue share to the football program, whether that is revamping and building a whole lot of a new facility. And they're also creating a massive entertainment district around the Kansas football stadium. So they're hoping that all of this can ultimately lead to this being a destination football program. And again, this is something that even just 5 years ago, you never would have believed.
The Baylor Bears, Auburn Tigers coming up on a Friday night in Waco. Much anticipated, obviously, in this part of the country. You really like this Baylor team, and part of that is the way that they finished the 2024 season. When you look at Dave Aranda heading into this season with the expectations that are there, the quarterback and the running back tandem that they have, what presents the biggest challenges for Hugh Freeze and the Auburn Tigers heading into Waco?
Well, I think that they just have the chance to be really dynamic offensively. They've got a quarterback in Sawyer Robertson that I would argue is a top 2 quarterback in the Big 12, along with Sam Levitt at Arizona State. They've got the best running back in the Big 12 in Bryson Washington. They've got 4 starters back on an offensive line that was pretty good. They've revamped their receiving core with Sawyer coming back and bring back 2 of their top receivers and also a really, really good tight end, and Michael Trigg, who came over from Ole Miss last year and broke out. So they're just super dynamic offensively. Now, the place where I think Auburn might be able to get them and where I think Hugh Freeze really has to try to hit their buttons is they are rebuilding in the secondary. They were a struggling pass unit last year, and Auburn, of course, has maybe a top 3 wide receiver core in the entire country. So a lot's going to be on that passing game to deliver quickly because Baylor has the ability to put up points in a hurry, and Auburn's going to have to keep up.
In regards to these coaches' polls, we've been debating whether they're relevant or not any longer. We know the CFP, that's the ultimate voice of what happens when it comes to the top teams in college football. But as you look at these preseason polls, whether it's the AP or the coaches' poll that came out, was there one particular team or two that really surprised you, whether they were too high or too low in the preseason rankings?
Yeah, I mean, I think overall the polls are pretty good, but I don't know that I see the vision on Michigan right now. Like, I know that 2 years ago they won a national championship. They ended the year on a hot streak, of course, beating Ohio State and Alabama in the final 2 games. But so many of the best players from even 2024 Michigan are gone. Guys like Colson Leveland, like Mason Graham, like Will Johnson. And look, they obviously bring in the number 1 overall recruit at quarterback in Bryce Underwood, but he's going to have to get ready right away. In week 2, they play Oklahoma on the road, and I think that they're probably going to lose that game. So for them to finish, or to start the year rather, in the preseason top 15, I understand the respect that they're given, and I think it's probably deserved. I just don't see them at that level of team at this point.
What about the Clemson Tigers and Dabo Swinney? A lot of expectations there and a lot of reason to be excited if you're a Tiger fan.
Yeah, I'm very, very high on this team. And I'll tell you what, I think that you look around right now, there were 6 teams that got first place votes in the preseason AP Top 25, which is the most since 2016. Ironically, one of the years that Clemson won a national title. I think that Clemson is one of these teams that can get into that number one conversation at some point in the year. When you look at what they bring back, it's not at one place, it's everywhere, right? Defensive line, they have not just the best defensive line in the country, but the best by a pretty wide margin, in my opinion, with guys like Peter Woods on that unit. I think that last year in the second half of the season, and especially when they played Texas, I think they got a chance to show out. This is a Clemson wide receiver core that looks more like Clemson. When you look at their struggles over the first couple of years post-2020, receiver was what I would argue is actually their biggest problem, even more than the quarterback position. So I think that they're going to be dynamic there. They've got a quarterback in Cade Klubnik who's going to at least contend to be one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the country. And so I think that this is looking, again, like a real Clemson team. We kind of had that blip in the middle between 2020 and maybe 2023 where it felt like they were trying to fight back to getting back to business. I think that they're finally back, and I expect them to be a legitimate national title contender this year.
Shahan J. Haraja, he joins the program from CBS Sports talking National College Football. Got to ask you about the Southeastern Conference. We were all wringing our hands over in Atlanta at SEC Media Days before we posted our votes. The top 4 teams kind of intermingling, kind of mix them up in a bag and pull them out. And the majority of folks said Texas was the team, but you got Georgia, Bama, LSU potentially. From your perspective, Shahan, what do you like in the Southeastern Conference this year?
Well, there's a lot to like. And just like nationally how I think there are a lot of contenders, I think there are a lot of teams that can break into the contender group this year. I ultimately picked Texas as my number 1 team in the SEC, but I think it's kind of a statement of how much parity there is that the number 1 team in the SEC and in the country is a team that replaces 3 offensive linemen and their quarterback and their receivers. So, like, they are absolutely gettable in 2025, just like they were in 24. A team that I'd like to maybe overperform is LSU. When you look at what they brought in the portal, and you always have to be a little wary of relying too much on portal commitments, I think they've done a great job of being targeted, especially in the secondary. They brought in a couple transfers who have big-time production under their belts at the power conference level. I'm thinking of somebody like Mansur Delane coming over as a cornerback from Virginia Tech, AJ Halsey as a safety from Houston. I think that these are just the kind of players that they did not have during some of their struggles last year. And by my money, I think that Garrett Nussmeier is the best returning quarterback right now in the SEC. And I think he's going to have a really good chance to be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft next year if he shows out the way that I think that he could. So, you know, I think that LSU is one of those teams that really have the ability to overperform, but go down the list. I mean, Georgia, I think Alabama is undervalued right now. There's so many teams that I think have the ability to get into that contender conversation.
When we go back big picture nationally, Shahan, what is that team that could potentially be last year's version of Indiana?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know, there's a couple that come to mind, right? I think of, well, in Indiana, right, like it's such a unique situation because you're talking about, 40 years of lackluster play. But, when you talk about teams that maybe can push their way into the conversation, I'll give you 2. One is Utah, which maybe they're not under the radar anymore because, they're if you look at FanDuel, they're the favorite to win the Big 12. I don't know that I'd have them there, but I do think that they are a team that over the last 2 years had as bad an offense as there was in the power conferences. And their floor is going to be so much higher with the offense that they bring in with Jason Beck, the offensive coordinator from New Mexico. That was the only offense in the country last year to produce 2,000-yard rushers, including the quarterback that came over with them, Devin Dampier, to Utah as well as part of that acquisition. And so I think that their floor is going to be much higher than people realize. And a sort of off the radar one, I think that Duke is a lot better than people realize. They won 9 games last year, and they feel like they upgraded in a big way at the quarterback position. They feel like they can be a potential ACC contender if some things break right for them. And they get Clemson in the middle of the year, but every other game on their schedule is very, very winnable, including a big matchup against Illinois in week 2 that could help launch them to the national stage. So again, for them, they're going to have to probably go 11-1 to have a chance to make the playoff, but I think that's on the table.
I have to ask you about the college football playoff expansion. So much discussion in the offseason about a 5-11, automatic qualifiers. When the dust finally settles before December 1st, where are we in regards to the college football playoff expansion?
I think that if you ask me at this moment, I think that we're not going to have a new agreement, and I think we're going to go into 2026 looking like we're going to do a 5+7, the same 12-team playoff that we had last year and this year. Now, eventually, I expect we're going to end up at a 16-team with a 5+11 model, because here's the reality. When everybody in college football is against the Big Ten on an issue, I just don't think that gives them a whole lot of wiggle room. And every other stakeholder here wants it to be only 5 auto bids. And frankly, I mean, I've been on the record about this. The idea of 4 guaranteed auto bids for the SEC and the Big Ten to me is frankly like non-competitive. It's like anti-competitive to me at a certain point, right? Like why should the team that finishes 4th in the Big Ten, regardless of where they finish in the rankings, be guaranteed a spot? And frankly, I mean, how many years will there not be 4 teams that deserve a spot? I don't understand this desire to try to guarantee your 4th best team a spot, because ultimately I think it really ruins kind of the nature of conference championship races as well. I loved the fact that Clemson was able to pull an upset and get their way in the ACC title game. I think that that's how it should be, and I think that conference championships should be considered really valuable. So I think that by the time that 2026 comes around, probably we're looking at a 5+11, but I don't think it's going to be decided by December of this year.
I don't disagree at all. That is Shahan J. Haraja. You can follow his work there at cbssports.com. Hope you come back, Shahan. We really appreciate your time and your insight. It should be a really fun college football season about to kick off next week.
Well, I named Birmingham as one of my top 4 college football cities in the country, so I would love to come back anytime.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. That is Shahan J. Haraja joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. All of our guests join us on that hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Well, speaking of college football, sports, and music, there's no better place in town to enjoy those 2 things than the Finnick. The Finnick is your front row seat to the best entertainment. Massive screens that got explosive sound from every seat in the house. The experience is bigger, brighter, and bolder. And their new restaurant menus we're cheering for, with wings that win MVPs, wood-fired grilled burgers stacked like your fantasy team, steaks so good you'll forget there's a game on. On top of that, they get delicious salads, fresh seafood, large selection of Finnick beverages. The Finnick's new 6-day schedule includes live acoustic acts. That's today through Friday, Wednesday through Friday from 5:30 until 8, followed by live bands at 10 o'clock on Fridays. Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays, they're dedicated to sports. When all the video screens, all the video boards throughout the house with the music or turned down, it's not going to get in the way. You'll actually have the big game. So Alabama's playing a big game, Auburn, Baylor. You're going to turn that sound up so you can enjoy it as a fan. Our friends at the Finnick. Go and check them out. We can't wait to see you there. 1630 2nd Avenue South near Railroad Park.
What a great interview with Shahan, and we will kind of dissect some of the things he said, including maybe a possible upset, Duke knocking off Illinois. Would Burt be okay with that? Would Bielema and company? We'll get into that. Top of the hour, we'll go to Oklahoma and find out what's going on with Moneyline Mateer. That's next on 3-Man Front. So we're 7 hours and 11 minutes away from the podcast, New Heights, in which Taylor Swift will be a guest on the program.
Threading the needle.
Not sure if they're going to hit the 144 million, which is the record for a podcast episode, which was hosted by Yasser El-Huzami.
The Love Doctor.
How to Succeed in Relationships. Or the Joe Rogan Elon Musk podcast that garnered around 67 million viewers. But I will tell you this. When it was announced that she was coming on to the podcast, New Heights Instagram account got 312,817 new followers.
It's a lot of followers.
Make you change your notification settings.
Mm-hmm. Previously, before the 312,817 that have come on board, they had gathered 2,045 new followers. They were kind of stagnant. Yep. And then all of a sudden, Tay-Tay shows up on the little promo. 312,817.
You think she'll perform like she performs now, like Madonna did late into her career? You think the knees will give out?
She looks like she's in very good shape.
Yeah, she does. You got to be to do what she does.
She's going to have a Las Vegas residency one day. She's going to make a killing.
Like she needs it.
Yeah, exactly. That must be a nice luxury for her. Of if she ever wanted to stop, she could.
Oh, yeah.
And people would be upset, obviously, but she could just go and live her merry life.
Well, Coach O was able to stop, right?
Well, he was asked
and
to
he
stop.
got $16 million.
Yeah.
She's worth $1 billion.
Yeah.
So
she lives a lavish lifestyle, Andrew. She's got to keep that up.
So based on that announcement, I mentioned the 312,817 new followers on Instagram to their account. If you break it down from a percentage standpoint, it has grown 15,203.5% since the announcement that she's going to come on the show.
I'm willing to bet, and, we can give it, a week or two because people will trickle, not everyone's going to watch it live, right? But I would assume the majority of the listeners, watchers will be in the next week, 3 days. I'm going to say
or do
25 million.
Or does it is a situation where like once the money clip is out on social media, you know what I'm talking about?
And then it starts to go viral and people go and check it out.
Well, no, I'm just saying how many people are going to go consume the whole thing.
Oh, no. Oh, gotcha. But I think 25 million, that's going to be my guess for the numbers that podcast does. Because there's a ton of Taylor Swift fans. Because I'm willing to bet, they probably have a couple 100,000 people that listen to their podcast regularly. And then you throw, I'd say Taylor Swift fans, it's good for 20 million of them to show up.
She is worth $1.6 billion. I did not realize that Jay-Z was worth $2.5 billion.
Oh yeah, yeah. But his money's from. He's a very, very successful businessman.
And Beyonce, she's worth $800 million.
Well, in case you guys were curious, I have some prop bets for tonight.
I love some prop bets.
Okay.
First one is the release date betting odds. So August 31st or before is plus 3,000.
Paige told me something about how apparently the album's supposed to come out like next week or something. I don't know.
That's the worst odds.
Just in time, we're kicking off the season.
Yeah.
And here she comes again.
August 1st through August 14th is minus 105.
Well, maybe the album comes out and then she has to go on tour immediately, even though she's just been touring for 3 years.
She needs to drop it.
So she won't be at the
drop
Chiefs
it when the
games.
NFL playoffs start. It seems like that's what we're talking about.
Let's say that she releases this album, whatever, in the next month or so. But in that time period, her and Travis break up. How quickly would she have another album ready to go of Travis Kelce breakup songs? I feel like you could get that out pretty quick.
Probably. Is there a prop bet on marriage proposal or an announcement?
Let's see. I do not see. Oh, wait. Will they announce their engagement? Yes or no? No, minus 330. Yes, 210.
Okay.
Will Taylor announce a new tour? Yes, plus 750. No, minus 1,500. Here we go. Total YouTube views in 24 hours. Right now, looks like about 500,000 to 600,000 is plus 225.
That is
I would think it
going
would
to-
do way more than
I
that.
would think so too.
I would think more people are like the Taylor Swift fans are going to want to watch it, whereas the other, like the general listeners, will probably just.
What if you had
Get the podcast.
relationship doctor from India?
There's a guest hit on it.
Yeah, with Kelsey and Taylor Swift. Do you know how many hits you would get?
144 million, roughly.
More.
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 So, what's your gut telling you, Molly, about the engagement?
I think it'll be extremely high.
Like you think
That
that's
it's
going
not
to
gonna
happen?
happen.
No, sorry. That they're going to get engaged.
Oh, I
or
thought you meant like
announce-
the engagement.
Yes,
Oh,
no,
sorry.
Like that they
I'm
will
thinking
announce
social media engagement.
Yeah, that they will announce that they are getting married.
Is she going
on
to ever
the
buy the
podcast.
cow, or is she just going to keep getting that milk for free?
I think I
Thank you,
would be
Andrew.
more
Yep.
surprised if they did announce they were engaged. I'll be happy either way for them because they seem to be very happy, a happy couple. But I
But-
would be pretty shocked.
If they announced it, that
Yes.
just doesn't seem like the way you would announce that. But I don't know.
I agree, but you never know.
Also, what's Jason going to be doing the whole time? Is he on?
Did
the
you see his intro?
No, I didn't.
Oh. They posted his intro that he did for her.
My future sister-in-law.
Well, if Travis needs to retire, she can just come on every week, and then
Yeah.
he'll probably make more money doing the podcast than as a player.
Speaking of making money, how much money did Moneyline Mateer make at Washington
Moneyline
State?
Mateer.
John Mateer, the starting quarterback for Oklahoma, yesterday he released a statement denying that he ever gambled on anything.
Wasn't me.
Doesn't do it.
Wasn't me.
Tyler McComas, who covers the Oklahoma Sooners for KREF Radio, he will join us next. We'll get the lowdown, what's happening with their star quarterback. That's straight ahead right here on Jox. We're halfway home on this Wednesday. Thanks for tuning us in. This is Three Man Front. Conrad, Molly, Landrum. I'm Pat with you until 2 o'clock. The big story in college football yesterday, actually the night before, it came out of the great Pacific Northwest as a story started matriculating out in regards to Shahan Mateer, the outstanding quarterback, the starter for the Oklahoma Sooners. So many people believe he's up for the Heisman Trophy. He's potentially going to lead Oklahoma back to the promised land. All of that, and then all of a sudden a strange internet report on Twitter from an AI reporter or whatever the case may be went back and started posting all these Venmo pictures of what apparently and allegedly was some things that were being done that some folks in the college sports world would view as a vice, and you can't do it. You can't bet on sports.
Nope.
So with that being said, we're going to our guy, boots on the ground in Norman, Oklahoma, from KREF Radio, guy that we were so happy to be able to hang out with in Atlanta, Georgia for a couple of days. And we're talking about Tyler McComas, who joins us now on Three Man Front. Tyler, I know your job has been pretty easy, right? Over the last 48 hours, just turn the mics on and let the folks go, right?
That was basically it yesterday. I would like to point out that, Pat, my last two appearances with you guys is breaking down Kirby Smart's bathroom situation in Atlanta and now a Venmo transaction. So I like the way that this continues to
Hey, one day we're actually going to talk X's and O's with you. And since Alabama and Auburn both are playing Oklahoma, we've got plenty of time
You're
to
a
do
Swiss
that,
Army
Landrum.
knife, Tyler. That means you got leverage, man.
That's right.
When you said boots on the ground, I guess boots on the ground anywhere. But no, it's yesterday morning when you and I were texting, Pat. I mean, it was storyline number one, and it was storyline number one on the day where you felt like you were probably going to get a 5-star edge player,
right,
which they did, by the way. And even when they got the 5-star edge player earlier in the afternoon, that Shahan Mateer, that's what I led the show with. It continued to be the big story. But as the day went on, and really after Mateer put out a statement and OU put out a statement, you really saw it die down. And it died down last night. It's died down into today. I can't say for 100% certainty that nothing is going to happen here because OU is taking this seriously and they're looking into things. But you really can't prove anything. Like if you found out that he had a DraftKings or whatever betting service you want to plug, if he had an account there, then that's a totally different story. But as other Venmo transactions were pulled up, sometimes you just say stupid things to your buddies when you have to pay them money or you're paying them money. So it was a huge story yesterday. I think everyone got panicked because, and this has been well documented, we've talked about it, after all the injuries last year, for a few hours, it was, oh my gosh, this program cannot catch a break. We're about to have our starting quarterback suspended. Luckily, I don't think that that's going to happen around here now.
All right, so let's talk about the situation. Up until that the Twitter report came out, was there any inkling at all? Was there a rumor or a whisper from anyone around that program that this was coming?
No, nothing. I think that initial tweet that got put out, everyone saw it, and it just kind of – we're all in training camp, and we're all just waiting for the season to start. So I feel like any college football headline now is really just going to spread like wildfire at this point, and there was no other story going on. But no, there was no inkling whatsoever, and I saw it initially and thought, okay, this is just some dumb internet rumor. And then you look up about 90 minutes later, and it's all over the place, and you find out that, hey, OU is certainly aware of this, and they are taking it seriously and looking into it. It's kind of crazy how quickly that thing caught on fire.
I know, Tyler, that you said, and a lot of Oklahoma fans would probably agree with you, but what does your gut tell you? Because you can read the text and you put sports gambling on there. You put in parentheses a specific game. Not that it matters in the grand scheme of things. Does your gut tell you that it was probably an innocent, maybe low wager bet?
Yeah, and maybe not like, they're using a betting service, but maybe, hey,
yeah,
I bet you $5 that USC goes down and scores on this drive. Sure. Or, hey, I bet you $5 UCLA goes down and scores. Maybe it was something as innocent as that. I did bring up yesterday with the hate that's still here for Lincoln Riley. John Mateer could be even more of a legend if he just said that he bet on UCLA. People out here would love him even more if he was betting against Lincoln Riley. But, I mean, there's no real way of knowing, and that's the big reason why I don't think if anything did happen, nothing will come out of this. But, yeah, maybe it's just a couple of guys hanging out. Hey, man, I bet you $1. I bet you $5 they go down and score here. It may have been just as easy as that. And, Joe Klatt had a really good tweet yesterday. So he says, let me get this straight. We're going to turn college football into a lawless free-for-all with large sums of money flowing to players who can be free agents twice a year, but then we're going to gasp about a Venmo description from 2022. It's like, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
No, and talking about just two friends making a harmless bet, I mean, that was just like when Landrum and I were in Atlanta, and I was sitting there, and I said, listen, I bet you $1 that Tyler McComas is in the bathroom with Kirby Smart. And, and Landrum had to pay me $1.
In on that. Hopefully they paid up.
And Landrum did. He paid me $1.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
We also had a bet on who washed their hands. We will not.
Yeah, we're not going to disclose that.
Disclose that.
Yeah.
I wonder what the odds line was on that. I'd be interested to know.
Okay, so that's in the rearview mirror. Let's talk about fall camp. How's it going in Norman? A lot of folks fired up. I know that the streak from 1999 was broken, that they did not make the preseason top 25 poll. Your thoughts on what you're hearing about this team that's got a very difficult schedule ahead of them?
So it's going to be a defensive-led team again. It's going to be defensive dominant like it was last year, but you're hoping that the offense can be not just better, but a lot better than a year ago. So I think the reports that people are hoping to hear out of camp or their scrimmages is that if the offense doesn't dominate, then it certainly has its moments and it looks pretty even. And I would say the defense has gotten the better of the offense throughout the entirety of training camp thus far. But the offense has had their moments against a very good and a very deep defense, and I think that that's very promising to hear. And they've had their moments because of John Mateer. And some of these wide receivers are not only available, but they're being consistent from practice to practice and scrimmage to scrimmage. Everyone just kind of any sort of a injury that's out there, everyone kind of gets really shaken because of what happens last year. So you've had some very minor injuries on the offensive side, a couple of concussions on the O-line, a couple of wide receivers dinged up here and there, but nothing serious. You haven't had the serious injury just yet, which for a lot of people, that in itself makes this training camp a success thus far. But I think if you're an OU fan, you've got to hope that the offense really has its moments against a defense that I think is going to be one of the best in the SEC. Cole Kublik says they got the best defensive line in the SEC this year. He thinks that's going to be the case. So the offense has had its moments, and I think that that's very promising to hear about a team that is – honestly, guys, I would be pretty surprised if it's not the most improved offense in the SEC this year. That's me saying – how much better I think that they will be this year, but also realizing how bad that they just were last year.
Tyler, for our listeners who have not familiarized themselves with quarterback John Mateer, is there another player that you could compare him to that maybe some of our listeners, our viewers, have seen in the past?
This is the popular one, and it's not a prediction that he's going to win the Heisman Trophy, but it's more about his attitude, the swagger that he's brought to the program, just kind of, what kind of guy he is, and yeah, a little bit how he plays. The Baker Mayfield comparison has been going on this offseason. Now, that came out initially, and I think the coaching staff and guys like Jim Nagy, the GM, were trying to calm that down really quick because the hype really got out of control with him, especially when you compare him to Baker. But that's probably the closest thing that you've had because he is a gunslinger. He can throw from different arm angles. He is a guy that was really good running the football last year at Washington State. I think overall he's a better runner than what Baker was. But like Baker, John Mateer is really good at getting outside the pocket, extending the play, and instead of throwing the ball away or taking an 8-yard loss for a sack, he's good at extending the play and maybe finding someone down the field for 10 or 15 yards. So, no, I'm not predicting him to win the Heisman Trophy, and I'm not saying that he's going to be as good as Baker Mayfield. But if you're looking for a style, if you're looking for kind of the attitude and swagger that Baker had, I think he's the closest comparison to anyone that they've had here recently. That's for sure.
All right, so as you departed Atlanta and you have gotten back to Oklahoma and you have been able to kind of digest what you were able to consume in Atlanta, you were able to talk to people around the league. And when the SEC media poll came out, did you agree, disagree? What do you say in regards to maybe the top 4 teams that you're anticipating for this year's SEC season?
Well, in terms of OU, Pat, like what everyone else was talking to me about or asking me about OU, like just the overall tone that I heard from you and everyone else, the overall term did not match the actual ranking that I saw once we got back.
I agree.
I was very surprised that they were as far back as they were. Now, I think that they're going to be better than that, and Florida finished in that exact same spot last year. I think Brent Venables needs to be better than what Florida's record was a year ago. I think that they're going to need to have a better year. But yeah, I didn't think that they'd be top 4. I didn't think that they'd be top 5. I thought they'd be somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 6, more than likely 7 or 8. But all the way back at 10 surprised me a little bit. In terms of the top 4, I told you guys, I think it's LSU and Alabama going to play in the SEC title game. Texas, just by virtue of their schedule, maybe they make it to Atlanta just because of how easy it is in SEC play. But I think the 2 best teams in the league, and, this is saying if Garrett Nussmeier's healthy all the way, I think it's LSU and Alabama. So I probably would have had those 1-2, put Texas in there somewhere in the top 4, and probably round it out with Georgia.
Outside of the SEC, but people in your state, what's the buzz in Stillwater? They're going to be better than they were last year? Because I don't know if they can get much worse.
It's a fascinating question just outside if they're going to be better or worse, because, this has always been a state where the 2 in-state teams are in the same conference, but obviously one has the majority of fans over the other. And maybe because I do a show that's predominantly OU football, though we do talk SEC football and just college football in general, it's almost if their spotlight talking about Oklahoma State has faded significantly because they're in the Big 12 and not in the SEC. I don't think that they get as much – I'm telling you guys, I don't think that they get as much coverage now. And not that they got the same amount of before, but they've really faded off. Maybe that's because they're in the Big 12. Maybe that's because they were winless in the Big 12 last year. But to answer your question, I don't hear a whole lot of hope and excitement about Oklahoma State being a 9-win football team. Maybe this time around they win a Big 12 game, but I think their over-under win total is like 5.5. I think Mike Gundy, one of the longest tenured head coaches in college football, is clearly on the hot seat. And if he didn't get to like 7 wins or something, I think Oklahoma State could be looking at a head coaching search for like the first time since about 2004.
Wow. That says a lot. That is Tyler McComas. Outstanding job covering the Oklahoma Sooners, the rest of the state of Oklahoma, and now the SEC. You can hear him this afternoon there on KREF Radio. Tyler, always great to catch up with you. You got Auburn fans coming to Norman this year. You're coming down to T-Town, so it should be a very fun fall as we get ready to get things kicked off next week. We appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. Real quick, since I am coming to Tuscaloosa, does Conrad run the music at the games? Because I'm wondering if the Gambler's going to play. The whole Cam Newton treatment. I wonder if the Gambler's going to play.
That would be a great idea.
Conrad's all hip-hop.
Yeah,
I'll be the one screaming Moneyline Mateer from the press box, Tyler. That's how you know it's me.
That is the nickname that's caught on here, by the way.
And you cannot miss Conrad, as you know, because you saw him in Atlantic. He wears those disgusting shoes, those Crocs, those whatever he's wearing. You can't miss him. So,
Tyler, did you see the shoes?
The Gambler over and over.
Did you see the shoes when we were? I can't remember if you were walking back to the hotel when.
No, it was Ty. Ty Richardson's the one that just absolutely just lambasted Conrad for wearing those. Now, what are they called again? Maybe Tyler probably knows.
They're just Yeezys.
Yeezy Crocs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Tyler called them.
Aware, probably not going to catch me wearing those, but
I don't think they're probably very big in the state of Oklahoma. I wouldn't think
so either.
No.
Not particularly big in the state of Alabama.
Hey, yeah, by the way, Tyler, they're not popular here either. But
I did see a dad wearing them at Universal in
Did you
Orlando.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Hey, Tyler, have a great show this afternoon, man. And thank Mateer for giving you plenty of material over the course of the next couple of days.
Nice one. That's a good one.
Material.
I'll have to use that. Talk to you guys soon.
All right, see you. Take care. All right, that's Tyler McComas. Join us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
No score between Puerto Rico and Venezuela in the Little League World Series. That's all we'll mention on that. Three-man front continues.
$12:19 here on Jox. Welcome back to the program. Pat, Molly, Conrad, Landrum with you until 2 o'clock. Courtesy GMC text line 205-834-9450. This is something that is not a big secret, but you're going to see it all over your timeline this afternoon. The University of Tennessee is going to announce in a matter of hours, maybe minutes, that they are officially leaving Nike. They're going back to Adidas. They were with Adidas back in the day. They switched to Nike, and now they are making the return. So from 1995 to 2014, all of Tennessee's athletic teams wore Adidas. Then they switched to Nike for the 2015 season. So Nike has been the supplier for the last 12 years. And so now they are heading back to Adidas after the 2026 season. So we will get the Nike smoky gray uniforms for Tennessee one more year, and then we'll see if Adidas will have their own rendition of the smoky grays.
I was trying to do some quick math and see what the record was.
From 1995 to 2014, they won a national championship.
Well, yep, knew that. Yeah, but you had a lot of Derek Dooley. Well, so 2015 is when they started, right?
Correct,
so,
with Nike.
Maybe this is just what that program needs.
Switching the uniforms?
Switching the the apparel manufacturer. I don't know.
Maybe that's why Nico wanted out.
Maybe so.
He needs that check mark on the jersey. What is UCLA? Are they Jordan?
Jordan?
Mm-hmm.
Close enough for him.
Just anything but Adidas.
Well, yeah, and I mean, Nike and Jordan are closely affiliated, so that was, I'm sure, good enough for
Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson. He has withdrawn his challenge to Pro Football Hall of Famer Troy Aikman's trademark use of the number 8. Do you remember that lawsuit? In a decision to dismiss the case published on Tuesday, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office revealed that Jackson filed to withdraw the challenge Monday after originally filing to challenge back in July of 2024. Jackson's initial opposition to Aikman's application to trademark the number 8 argued that Aikman's trademark would ultimately create a false connection with himself, since he wears the number 8 jersey for the Ravens and produces his own merchandise and branding featuring the number 8. Now, this move comes as Jackson continues a separate trademark battle with NASCAR Hall of Famer Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the same number.
Is he also suing ESPN 8 the Ocho? Like, what are we doing here?
So he still has the lawsuit apparently going against Dale Earnhardt Jr., but he dropped the one against Troy Aikman.
Super 8 Motel?
That'd be a problem. I bet he hates going to a pool table. Get that 8 ball out of here.
How about this? Get to a Super Bowl. Hey, while you're there, win one.
Troy did.
Yeah, he did.
And I love Lamar. Great player.
Little E won some
super
big
fun
races.
to watch. But why are trade? It's the same thing with Ohio State trying to trademark the word "the." Why are we trademarking a number?
Yeah. Speaking of legal woes,
like buying oxygen rights.
Yeah.
Your guy Shohei Ohtani back in the news. All for the wrong reasons.
Oh no! Is he?
I told you he was crooked.
Is he linked up with Mateer?
No, but he's being sued for tanking a $240 million Hawaii housing development.
Uh-oh.
He needs to call David Booth. Hey, David, you got any more of those checks, buddy?
Ohtani was allegedly, he was supposed to buy a house in a new development, and then he was going to act as a celebrity spokesperson and build a baseball facility, but he and his agent are accused of undermining it and pulling out of the deal. So they're being sued now for almost $250 million.
Also known as a quarter of the contract he signed with the Dodgers last year, right?
Yep.
So you know all that money we deferred? I'm going to need you to send it to this guy instead.
He just can't get out of his own way.
Man.
He's got some bad advisors.
You had a bunch of people building or buying houses, buying property there because they were told that Shohei Ohtani is going to be your neighbor and he's building a baseball facility for Johnny and Jenny.
Yeah.
Who knows, though?
You know who wouldn't deceive the people of Hawaii?
Maybe he claims that his former agent did all of this.
Yeah, Marcus Mariota.
From prison.
Marcus Mariota would not do that.
Neither would Tua.
Who?
Tua.
Who?
Oh, the guy that's on the president's council.
That's right.
How do you say his name again? How the president, how did he
how
say
do you
his name?
say? There it is.
It's Tag Ovalia.
One more time. I got to hear the president.
I'll like the way he finishes it.
I wonder who
Well,
got,
and you can picture exactly what he looks like as he's saying it.
Yes.
who got fired that day. Think multiple people got fired for that?
Probably at least one. At least one intern. Yeah.
Think so? Tua. He hasn't been injured or anything at camp, has he?
No, he's fine.
Is he?
He's still
Are
fine.
they still trying to trade Tariq Hill?
No, I think they've worked that out for this season. So I think.
How many kids
it's okay.
has Tariq Hill fathered in the last 6 months?
I don't know.
Does he have any on the way?
Probably. I mean, I think he's up to 10 or 11.
He's
now.
like trying for the BB King record, right?
Yeah, he's past Phillip Rivers, and he's now in Antonio Cromartie territory.
What was the number BB King ended up with? It was impressive. Do you remember, Landrum, off the top of your head?
I don't.
15 with 15 different women.
That was BB King.
Correct.
The pride of Itabena, Mississippi.
Well, you're increasing your chances there as far as having a kid that goes on and does something great. 15 different kids, 15 different women.
Antonio Cromartie has 14.
A lot of different combinations there.
Does he?
I think Dennis Rodman was one of like 16 kids.
The real question is, Nick Cannon's only at 12. I thought he might have surpassed.
Oh, he's only got 12?
He's only got 12.
What's he doing?
He's slowed down.
Obviously.
Oh, goodness. I think Dennis Rodman's dad might have set the record.
Marlon Brando has 16 kids.
29.
I did not know that about Marlon Brando.
Who has 29?
29.
Who?
Rodman's dad.
Oh, Dennis Rodman's dad has 29? Wow. Whew.
That's a fun family reunion at Christmas.
Philander Rodman.
That's his name? Philander? Okay. I haven't heard that one before. I mean, I see, and I mean, I know you were just in Disney. I mean, again, I'm not a father yet, and I hope that I am one day, but I mean, I see a husband and a wife with 2 kids and how stressful that looks at times.
Oh, is this a shuttle to the
We're
hotel?
going to double digits?
No, that's Tyreek and his family.
Yeah. Whew. How do you remember? How do you remember all their names? How do you remember their birthdays? I'd be forgetting at least one every year.
Well, yeah, Home Alone. That's the whole premise of the movie.
Great point.
She didn't have near that many to keep up with.
They were just bad parents.
They were. You know those tethers, they ought to bring those back for the kids. I don't know if you guys were ever tethered as children.
Oh, like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I was not, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, had the tethers.
I think those are frowned upon now.
Are they?
I think so.
I could see where something bad could have happened.
Yeah.
With a tether.
get
But a
tangled
lot of
up.
bad things can happen if they're not tethered.
I was about to say, you can't watch all of them at one time. Little Johnny's going to run off in the road somewhere or something. It's a lot, man.
It is. This is the Wednesday edition of 3-Man Front. Thanks for tuning us in. More straight ahead right here on Jox. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll go to the Pacific Northwest. Eric Scopel's going to join the program as we continue our look around the country at different programs. We'll focus in on the Oregon Ducks. Eric writes for Duck Territory. We will get his thoughts on the preseason ranking for the Ducks, and can Dan Lanning's team crack that ceiling and get to a national championship game for the Ducks?
Well, the Alabama heat and humidity can be brutal, but don't let it affect your home and family. Keep them comfortable with an affordable Train cooling system. They've been recognized as America's most trusted brand for 11 consecutive years, and they're the official cooling partner here at Jox. So go and find a comfort specialist near you at train.com.
You know, what's so interesting about us talking about Oregon football coming up, if you take a look at the preseason top 25 AP poll, and we've talked about this before, 65 pollsters, they're spread out across all 50 states. If you take a look at it, only 3 teams from the western third of the country cracked the rankings. Now let that sit in for a second. Oregon, the defending Big Ten champions, they were 7th. The Sun Devils from Tempe, they were number 11. Matter of fact, that was their highest preseason ranking since 1998. And Boise State, which reached the college football playoff last season, at number 25. So only 3 teams in the top 25 are considered from the western third of the United States. Everything else is going to be on this side of the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah, I guess there's not a real big surprise there. When you think about the strength and kind of the shift and where college football has gone, but we still have folks that are down here, young, really good football players that want to go in Oregon, namely. But there was a time when there was that attraction by some here locally that I can remember of going and being serious about an offer from a Jim Mora Jr.-led UCLA. Just, if you can't find anything you like here in this part of the country, I mean, to each their own, but I mean, how many college football programs do you have to pass up before you get out there?
Well, you saw Robbie Ashford. He left Hoover, went directly there, right out. That was his first school.
Yeah.
He was an outstanding quarterback and baseball player for Hoover High School. And he goes out to Oregon, plays baseball for Oregon. He was backup quarterback for the Ducks. Then he comes back this side of the Mississippi River. Now he's kind of bounced around, obviously, the last few years in regards to his college playing ability. But a lot of people have gone out there and have ended up back in the South for whatever reason.
There's the grass is not always greener. If you're
despite what Dan Lanning likes to say.
If you originate on this side of the Mississippi, the grass is not always greener out there as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
I know we've sounded like a broken record, but according to the AP preseason top 25 poll, for the first time ever, the Southeastern Conference had 10 teams. No conference ever in the history of the AP preseason poll has a conference had double-digit number of teams that was in the preseason poll. So SEC, check the box. Got it done. Big Ten, only 6.
Well, that SEC bias or that perception that's there, how do you explain that? If you're one of those Big Ten flag waivers.
Well, this is 65 pollsters that spread out across 50 states.
Exactly.
This is not
4 guys in Birmingham voting.
No, it's not.
So is the perception real? Yeah. Apparently, according to that poll. Oregon's a tough team to try to figure out.
Yeah. So we'll talk to Eric Scopel coming up at the top of the hour as we'll get his thoughts on. And it's still weird for me to say Big Ten.
I know.
Like he covers a Big Ten team. So we'll talk to him coming up.
Joining us now, legendary coach Pat Dye, his son Pat Dye Jr., to talk about a very noteworthy event that's coming up, the Nick Saban Legacy Award, and Pat Dye Jr. joins us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Pat, how are you today?
Doing great. How are you guys?
We are fantastic. Excited to have you on. Your father being honored for his contributions in coaching to college football as a whole. Also, Coach David Cutcliffe is going to be honored as well. But, Pat, tell us about this event and, first of all, what it means to you for your father to be recognized for such a prestigious award.
Well, for me personally, I would start by saying I was actually a member of the Monday morning quarterback club. And it's, a very esteemed group of people. They've done a lot of great things for the city and children's health care and that kind of thing. So it's a real honor for me to come back there and accept this, recognition on behalf of my dad. And I would start by saying that my dad and I both, to be a part of something even associated with Coach Sabin is a real honor. I mean, I think if you could ask him right now, he would say he's the greatest of all time, and I certainly agree with that. I think what he did was unprecedented, and you're talking to a guy that grew up on the sidelines in Tuscaloosa with Bear Bryant for 9 seasons. So, but yeah, he had a lot of respect for Coach Sabin, and would be so honored to know that he's going to be a part of this group. And I found it fitting that Coach Dooley and Coach Bowden have already been recognized by the group. Coach Dooley turned Auburn down, and then Coach Bowden turned him down. And my dad was the third choice, so he's going to come in after those guys. So, but yeah, I'm really excited. I know, again, Dad would be so honored, and he spoke to that group, every fall, and had a lot of great friends in the group, and had a lot of respect for that group of people.
Well, one thing is for sure, Pat, the Nick Saban Legacy Award, since it's been around a few years, you've got Spurrier, Eddie Robinson, Bobby Bowden, Frank Beamer, and now your dad. And so it's just incredible company, and you just already touched on it, but just how much that means to you and your family for your dad, Coach Dye, to be able to be amongst those honorees with this Nick Saban Award.
Yeah, for sure. And well-deserved. I apologize for being a proud son, but what he did at Auburn really, to me, was a miracle because, as I said, I grew up in Tuscaloosa. I was actually a freshman at Georgia with Herschel Walker when Dad took the job, and I thought personally it was professional suicide to come to Auburn, where they'd won one SEC championship in the history of the school. That was, I guess, 25 years before he got there, and didn't win an SEC game the year before he got there either. So, and for him to come in sandwiched between Coach Bryant and Vince Dooley and Herschel Walker and, win 4 SEC championships, I think his fingerprints are all over, what Auburn's athletics is like now and the facilities, and certainly bringing the Alabama game to Auburn, I think has changed that campus and changed the entire Auburn community.
Pat,
so,
when I think about your dad and I think about other legendary coaches, whether it be Coach Bryant, whether it be Coach Dooley, and now that we have the NIL era and how upside down it is in the transfer portal, I can't imagine those guys enjoying it very much. I just can't imagine them coexisting in this type of climate. You know your father better than anyone else. How would your dad have handled this, or would he have liked it at all?
I would have to say, knowing him, he wouldn't have liked it at all. I think, and he would have loved the concept of the players getting paid. He would have been all for that. What he would not have been in favor of is how, it's become such a transactional, process, and in a lot of the cases, the almighty dollar is what carries the day. And I think that he would say, and certainly I agree with it, that's not the reason to choose where you go to school. There's scheme fit, there's academics, there's proximity to home, where you're going to be comfortable as off the field. All those things should enter into that decision, and it just not be about fact who's willing to write the biggest check. And two, I think it would have made it harder for him to succeed, because I think his relationship and his ability to relate to people, black, white, rich, poor, southern, northern, wherever. He just made people feel comfortable, and I don't know that would carry as much weight today as in today's world, as it did back then. And candidly, I think, Dad made Auburn a cool place to come. I don't think it's any accident or coincidence that, three of the best players in their respective sports and three of the true icons in Auburn sports, Bo Jackson, Charles Barkley, and Frank Thomas, all came right there in the middle of Dad's, tenure at Auburn. He was actually the AD as well when all those guys were there. So I don't think he would like it at all. He's more of a relational guy, and I think a lot of what made him successful is that ability to relate to people and make them comfortable and trust him. And I think that would be that would be diluted in today's world for sure.
No, and your dad and dealing with him professionally, as I did in different capacities, I still think about, you kind of knew what you were getting from your dad. But all of the great quotes, is the hindsight is 50-50. Is that probably one of the more noteworthy that you hear about?
He had a lot of them. I remember, the first team meeting he had there, and he actually, when he got to Auburn, he said, I really want to get to know these players. I want to get in the middle of this culture. And he literally, he and my mom and my brothers and sisters moved. They moved into the athletic dorm, which was Sewell Hall at the time. And I remember his first team meeting. He told all those guys, he said, look, I know you didn't come to Auburn because of me. I didn't recruit a single one of you. But he said, if you love football and you love Auburn, we're going to be okay. And I love that one. And, I get grief about this from my Alabama friends, and I got a lot of them, but I like the one he said. Alabama people love Alabama football. Auburn people love Auburn.
Yep.
That was a pretty good one too. But yeah, hindsight 50-50 is I don't think he invented that one, but he certainly used it a lot.
Oh, he was a great one of a kind. It's the 2025 Nick Saban Legacy Award. That taking place Monday, August 18th, 6 o'clock, Red Mountain Theater. And there's ways that folks can get tickets. They got the VIP level, the gold, and the silver. And you visit the MondayMorningQuarterbackClub.org for more information there. Pat Dye Jr., thank you so much. Congratulations to you and your family, and a well-deserved honor for your late father.
I really appreciate it and looking forward to next Monday night.
Thank you, Pat.
All right. Goodbye.
Pat Dye Jr., Nick Saban Legacy Award. We're going to have Coach David Cutcliffe, who's going to be joining us coming up later on in the week. As we continue here on Three Man Front, more news and notes that we'll get to on Jox.
Some high cotton when it comes to college football names for the Nick Saban Legacy Award. My goodness. When you think back, Steve Spurrier, Eddie Robinson, Bobby Bowden, Frank Beamer, David Cutcliffe, now Pat Dye.
Yeah.
Big names.
Yeah, well-deserved. And as I told our listeners, we're going to have Coach Cutcliffe on. We'll get to visit with him. Got to visit with him momentarily in his role that he has had now, for a couple of years with the Southeastern Conference.
Yep.
But classy individual. No other way around it, Coach David Cutcliffe.
Very much so. His former school that he was the offensive coordinator for, the University of Tennessee Volunteers, he was Peyton Manning's offensive coordinator.
You don't think he's gotten a look at Arch?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the reason why Eli ended up at Ole Miss.
I just want him to
David
tell
Cutcliffe.
us on the show, of all the Mannings, Arch has the most potential.
I don't know if he'll do that.
I don't think he will.
Don't think he'll do that.
I think it's still Cooper.
Cooper.
Wasn't that always the story, though?
Yes.
He had some sort of injury or something where he couldn't play football.
That he was the best athlete of any of them.
He was better than Peyton or Eli. Yeah.
Don't you always say that about the guy that gets hurt?
Well, of course. You got to make him feel better.
Right.
Well, because you feel bad for him. I mean, I'm sure he's done very well for himself and he's happy, but it would be kind of tough if you're the third of Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, and then you're just, oh, yeah, you're the one that didn't play in the NFL. Like, that would kind of stink.
Yeah, if Landrum just had longer legs, he would have been a world-class sprinter.
Right. I would have needed a little more help than that, but yeah.
Well, me too. I was going to start with longer legs.
That wouldn't hurt.
No. You think about what Coach Cutcliffe did at Ole Miss at the time. They should have gone to an SEC championship game when he had Eli. But what he was able to do at Duke, the quarterback said he coached, hey, if there is one guy that should thank him every single day, it's Daniel Jones.
He made Daniel Jones so much money.
So much money.
He's continuing to make him money.
Yes, he is.
It's a great point.
So a viral clip yesterday from the University of Nebraska, Archie Wilson, who is apparently from Australia. Do I understand that correctly, Molly? He's from down under?
Yes.
Okay. A very emotional Archie Wilson discussing him being away from his family, playing football so far away from home.
Yeah, I love them a lot. Yeah, I got two little brothers and my mum and dad, and yeah, that's the tough part about being here. I love them a lot and I miss them, but it's I mean, they know this is what's best for me, and it's good. I can still talk to them plenty over the phone, and they're coming here to see the first few games, so I'm looking forward to that.
Very emotional.
Yeah.
Archie Wilson.
Is there more to the story?
No, I just think he's homesick.
Okay.
I mean, I would be too. I mean, I would get homesick and I was 15 hours away. You're half a world away.
Is this first year for him?
He's 19. He's very young.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So is he going to be your starting punter?
I hope so.
That pipeline from Australia.
It's awesome.
It's incredible.
They've been some good kickers, yeah, no doubt.
Auburn's got one.
Yeah. Is he going to get a lot of playing time, Molly?
I hope not.
Yeah, that would not be good. Hey, speaking of playing time, I just want to update everybody that I'm sitting here looking at a depth chart at Notre Dame University, and Tyler Buckner is fourth-string quarterback.
Oh, yeah, I forgot he was going back to do the quarterback thing now. Is he also listed at wide receiver or just quarterback?
Let me take a look here.
Because he moved to a receiver, right, at one point?
He's still at quarterback.
Okay.
He's not listed on the depth chart at any of the wide receiver or tight end positions.
What about administratively? Is he listed as like an associate athletic director? Is he a consultant?
Just for the record, last year he had one rush for 4 yards.
I blame Tommy Rees.
I'm sure he's a wonderful young man. He might be my least favorite football player of all time, though.
What?
Of all time?
All time?
What did he do to you?
Golly.
Nothing, Pat. He did nothing.
He did nothing for him.
He did. I'm sorry. I'm sure he's a wonderful young man, but he's on the short list for Conrad's least favorite football players of all time.
That guy was going to win a Heisman until he got to Tuscaloosa.
We ruined him.
Yeah.
But you know what? I never forget us having our friend on from Irish Illustrated, Tim O'Brien. Isn't that right?
O'Malley.
O'Brien, O'Malley, all the same.
Whatever.
You can say that as an Irishman.
I can say that because I'm a.
We can't.
But he was very high. I remember having him on the day that he, committed to come to Alabama, and O'Malley was like, he had a really nice career.
Well, and that was
Notre
Tommy
Dame.
Reese's dude, right? Like, because he was the starter that year, and then he got hurt.
That was
and
his guy.
It got derailed.
His sister's a heck of a beach volleyball player. Got to meet her, Brooke.
See, this is why I'm so tired of the, why are you excited about Ty Simpson? He couldn't start over Jalen Milroe. No, the real question, if you want to go that route, is why did he not start over Tyler Buckner against South Florida 2 years ago? That's really, if you want to throw some fire at Ty, that's the right way.
Well, here's the good news. Ty Simpson has witnessed a lot in his time in Alabama. And you know what? He knows what it's not supposed to look like.
I feel very confident that he will be more productive than Tyler Buckner.
Yes. I think for a lot of reasons, Alabama's offense is going to be better this year. And I think it starts with Ryan Grubb, and I've maintained that since he returned to Tuscaloosa.
At Alabama, he did have one touchdown.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
He rushed for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Rushed for a touchdown.
It's great. Does he still play lacrosse too? He's just so talented.
I do not know. I just was looking at something, and I came across their depth chart, and I was amazed that he is still playing football, and he is currently the fourth-string quarterback at Notre Dame. So good for him for sticking it out.
All right. Practice is done, guys. Who's going to go scrub touchdown Jesus? Tyler, I see your hand in the back there. Again? Okay.
All right.
Here you go.
My fingers hurt.
All right, what's
You just
going
pulled
on
landscaping duty.
What's going on with Oregon? We'll go out west next. Three-man front. Welcome back into the program, the fourth and final hour of today's show. A lot of college football talk. We're about 12 days away from the start of the college football season. We've been kind of bouncing around the country, kind of get some previews of camps around the land, and we're going to go to the Pacific Northwest now. Eugene, Oregon is where Eric Scopel lives, and he covers the Oregon Ducks for Duck Territory. He joins us now on Three-Man Front. Eric, I hope the summer's gone well for you.
Yeah, can't complain. Good to have football back. It was crazy hearing on the advertisement coming in there. 10 days till the start of football season. That blows my mind. I don't know where the summer went.
Oh, it's crazy. Well, let me ask you this: have you gotten used to the fact that you're now covering a team that is in the Big Ten Conference? Has that finally sunk in?
I think so. Just in terms of the fact that I'm no longer paying attention to West Coast teams primarily, and
right.
I'm spending a lot of time looking at teams in like Indiana and Michigan and Maryland. I'm booking travel to go to New Jersey this year. So I think it has, but it's still weird. And it really, I mean, I think we talked about it before. It frankly doesn't make much sense logistically, but here we are booking travel all the way across the country for Pennsylvania and New Jersey for conference football games. But that's the world we live in.
Eric, we were warned last year when we had Texas and Oklahoma coming in the league. Hey, just a big warning, guys, about Texas fans. Who is that fan base for you, or that school for you, now that you've been throughout the Big Ten, that you said, you know what, you're absolutely right. This program, this fan base is obnoxious.
That's a good question. It might be Penn State a little bit.
I can see.
Yeah, I'd say, because I think Ohio State and Oregon, like, there's definitely probably more animosity, and maybe Ohio State's the answer, because that fan base certainly reveled in what happened in Pasadena. I do think there was strangely like a level of respect gained by what happened in Autzen, that Oregon was able to pull that off and knock the Buckeyes off. But there was definitely there's a lot of chirping going on between the Nittany Lions and Ducks leading up to that Big Ten championship game. And certainly with that game front and center this season, I don't think that chatter is really quieted down during the offseason.
Well, one thing's for sure, especially here in the state of Alabama, we are very familiar with Dan Lanning. Obviously, he was in Tuscaloosa. He was over at Georgia. He's done a great job in the Pacific Northwest, and he continues to come to the state of Alabama, Eric, and take some of the best blue chippers out of the state of Alabama to bring up to the Pacific Northwest. Talk to us a little bit about the recruiting prowess of this Oregon team, because this is a national brand, and when you have Nike behind you, that gets a lot of young people's attention.
Yeah, no, it certainly does. And I think the staff composition helps. The fact that they've had on-field success helps. You're right. NIL is certainly not lacking out here. An offer, I think, sometimes to kids from different parts of the country, hey, check out what's going on up here. I think that Oregon is, like, the university is at least not in like a big metropolitan city. It's a smaller community. And I think that offers, like, maybe for some people kind of a different approach of, like, there's not a lot of distractions here. It's just basically football. And I think that's probably similar maybe for some of these kids from the Southeast too. If you're going to look at Alabama or Auburn and some of these cities, you're not living in Atlanta or something. So I do think there's some of that. And you're right. Like, the state of Alabama has never been a state Oregon had touched in recruiting. Last couple of cycles have had a lot of success, whether it be with Jaquan McRoy, who's I think since transferred to Arkansas, obviously Naeem Offord. This last year, go back and look at Bo Nix and Tez Johnson, a couple of guys from the state. And then, most recently, Tank Jones, the edge rusher, getting him in the fold, one of the better players in that state. I mean, that was a surprise that I think it went that way ultimately. It looked like Alabama had the advantage until the last couple of weeks there. But certainly you look at Oregon's roster, it looks a lot more like an SEC roster than it ever has before. And you with a coach like Lanning, and you mentioned it, with his history in the SEC, he knows the blueprint. He knows how to operate, and he certainly knows the way to build a staff that can compete. So, recruiting continues to be very, very healthy out here. And I think this year will be one of the years where you can hopefully lean on it and say, hey, there's not a lot of returning vets that didn't hit the portal quite as hard as some schools. They've kind of entered this year saying, we're going to bet on the young players we've recruited in the last couple of cycles, and we'll see what this season presents. Because, I mean, honestly, if they do falter and it's a tough season, it'll be somewhat of an indictment on that choice to say, hey, we're not going to go out there and pull in all these. And they certainly had some transfers they added, but we're not going to go out there and add all these transfers. We're going to lean on some young guys.
Evan Stewart, talented wide receiver, going down with the injury. Normally you say it's one player, but we saw it firsthand here in the SEC. You guys saw it last year in Eugene, but how much does that loss potentially mean to this Oregon team?
It's a really significant loss. I mean, not just because he's really talented, and as you said, if you've watched Evan Stewart play, you've seen the highs. I mean, last year, I think like 80% of his production was in 4 games, but it was like 4 of their biggest wins of the season. You know, it was Boise State and Ohio State games mixed in there. He had a big performance late in the year against Washington. So, you know, you look at the way Evan performed a year ago. You saw some of the flashes, but it's also the fact that he was kind of their only proven veteran returning wide receiver. You know, you look at the roster, they've got a couple of guys who are kind of fill-in starters or maybe like the 4th or 5th guy. Well, those guys are now being asked to be kind of the veteran presences in the room. I'm not sure the expectations those guys are going to be the lead receivers because they have a bunch of young players. DeCorian Moore, the 5-star number 1 receiver in the country from the Dallas-Fort Worth area that they just landed, and he's on the team this year. I think the expectation he's going to be very prominently involved, but they do lack those kind of veteran proven players in this pass game. And I think it creates sort of an interesting dynamic here. And Will Stein, the offensive coordinator, has already come out and said, hey, we may lean on our tight ends and running backs a little bit more than we're used to doing. And so they've got one of the better tight ends in the country in Kenyon Sadiq. I think he's going to be maybe has a case to lead the team in receiving. You know, that's strangely become kind of a, a decade ago, it'd be crazy if you had a tight end leading your team in receiving. You look around the country, and whether it was Brock Bowers at Georgia or, you know, Colston Loveland at Michigan, Tyler Warren at Penn State, like it's become sort of I don't want to say the norm, but not that unusual to have a tight end kind of take over, and lead the way. Sadiq might be that kind of a player for them this year. And then the run game, where, you know, which will be interesting to see. I think that was one of the criticisms of last year's offense was, you know, they had a 51-49 pass to run split. They threw the ball more than they ran it. Is that going to be something you can rely on without Evan Stewart with a bunch of young receivers, but also, and I'm sure you want to talk about it a little bit, with potentially a first-time starter, whether it be a Dante Moore or an Austin Novosad?
Yeah, so where does that stand in regards to the way fall camp has lined up so far in regards to the quarterback position?
Yeah, they're so tight-lipped, and they've closed practice this year, unfortunately. So I don't have much reporting in terms of what I've seen. The expectation remains it'll be Dante Moore, but they've been very careful to, you know, you look around the country, schools are now. Alabama just announced a quarterback a couple of days ago, starter.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
There are schools across the country making announcements. They're not even seemingly, you know, ready to talk about the competition more than to say that both guys have looked good. The scrimmage had some ups and downs. They're pretty guarded information there. Ultimately, as I said earlier, Dante Moore will probably be the starter. I'd bet pretty good money on that. Not saying to go out there and bet it if that's on. I'm not even sure if that's on the books. Probably isn't. Right. But my point is, like, I think he's going to be the guy. It's just an interesting camp where there's not been a whole lot of discussion on what that competition actually looks like, and they like it that way. And we'll find out probably on August 30th against Montana State, one way or the other. But Dante Moore is the expected starting quarterback, and talking to people behind the scenes, sounds like he's had a really strong camp and is somebody that the staff feels really good about. They just aren't necessarily ready to say that publicly, I guess.
Eric Scopel's joining us here on Three Man Front from Duck Territory as we're previewing the Oregon Ducks, a team that many people have pegged to win the national championship. Let me ask you about another familiar name in our neck of the woods, and that's Tosh Lapoy, who is the defensive coordinator for Dan Lanning. The defensive line for the Ducks, they lost an All-American, I think 3 draft picks, part of the first 100 draft picks this year in the NFL draft. Talk to us about the defensive side of the ball and what Lapoy has coming back.
Well, the answer is not a whole lot. 3 starters back on the defense and 3 key players. Leading tackler Bryce Betcher, who's a former walk-on, who's become, I think, kind of the heart and soul of the team. A local kid, grew up in Eugene. Not very often you see a Eugene kid actually playing for the local school, so that's kind of a fun development. He's one of the returners. And then 2 edge rushers, Mateo Uiagalelei, who I think has a chance to be an All-American this year, and Tatum Tuioti, who's probably a little overlooked for what he's provided as last couple of years as a starter and as one of the team's better pass rushers. But that's pretty much it in terms of returning contributors. A couple other guys that played a little bit last year. The secondary is going to be brand new. I think that's one of the bigger question marks kind of surrounding camp is like, You know, they have to replace all 5 starters back there, including 2 corners that were really high-end players a year ago. The corners on the roster are primarily young players. I mentioned Naeem Offord earlier. Like, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. Like, you could put on an Oregon game in mid-September that you see him out there with like the first team defense playing. Like, I think that's fully in the realm of possibility. So I think the defense, the question is like, you know, both on the defensive line and the secondary, I kind of mentioned it earlier, like, how does that recruiting pay off? Like, what's the payoff for stacking top 5, top 10 classes the last 3 or 4 years? Because they've gone into this and said, we're doubling down. We're betting on the recruiting we've done and the young talent, a lot of which is unproven. So that's kind of the story for that defense. I think there's a chance that they're bigger and more athletic than they even were last year up front on that defensive line. They've got a bunch of 320, 330 guys that I think are pretty interchangeable that can play a couple of different places up front. But these guys haven't played major college football, really, you know, at least not in these kind of roles. So I think the question there, and it's kind of a question team-wide, is, you know, they bet on, we built the roster with a lot of young, talented players. Well, now we find out if that was a wise bet or not, because there aren't a lot of veterans returning on this team. You know, we take Evan Stewart out of the mix, it's just 4 returners over. I mean, there's 1 offensive starter back if you take Evan Stewart out of the picture. It's a brand new football team. It's a very talented football team. And for Tosh and Will Stein, the coordinators on this coaching staff, it's a question of, can they get everybody ready? And frankly, what do the growing pains look like? I wouldn't be surprised if the month of September, there's some moments where you go, that does not look like the Oregon football we're used to seeing.
Eric, the steal of the transfer portal, and this is a guy who played his high school ball at Huffman here locally outside of Birmingham, but also at Tulane, got to see him firsthand last year. Mekhi Hughes, running back. I think that this guy could be the steal of the portal. Pat raves about him. We rave about him. A lot of people, though, nationally, they don't know who Mekhi Hughes is. I think that changes this year in Eugene.
I do too. And I mentioned it earlier. You know, I don't think it was by mistake that Will Stein kind of noted, hey, we might be down some receiver talent, you know, whether it be injuries or just players going to the draft the last couple of years. We might have to rely on some other positions. And he brings up running back because they've got a stable of guys, whether it be a Mekhi Hughes or a Noah Whittington, who is entering his 6th year of college football. He's been at Oregon for 4 of those years. And then some of these younger guys that you talk to people, it sounds like they're really excited by. You know, I think Hughes most likely will be the lead running back. I don't even know if most likely needs to be attached. He will be. He probably has a chance to hit that 1,000 yards again. But I think it's a rush attack that kind of similar to what we've seen from staying in the Big Ten, I guess, Ohio State, Penn State the last couple of years where they rotate quite a bit. Like, I wouldn't be surprised, though, if like a couple of these other younger backs are involved a lot and incorporated for a run attack that could like carry an offense early on in the season, especially with some younger players in the pass offense. I think that's going to be pretty interesting to follow. And Hughes in particular is, you know, watching him in the spring game, and frankly, that's the only chance I've had to see him in an Oregon uniform, unfortunately. Just so explosive, always falls forward, loves contact. I think he's put on about 10 pounds of weight this offseason. And just speaking with him about a week or 2 ago at Oregon Football Media Day, he looks the part. So looks like an SEC running back playing in the Big Ten. We'll see how that combination works.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, like Landrum said, I was able to cover him in high school, and he didn't have much of an offensive line, but man, he could, whether it was between the guards or get to the outside, he was a special player. So there's no doubt that Oregon is going to get the best out of him. So I'm sitting here looking at Oregon's schedule, and in regards to where they have to go, they got to go to Happy Valley, they got to go to Iowa. But outside of that, I know the final game of the season in Seattle, but just talk about their schedule because, again, this is from an SEC's perspective. I'm sitting here looking at it. It looks extremely manageable for this Oregon football team this year. Tell me if I'm right or wrong.
I think you're right. And I think that's sort of the consensus out here, too, is you look at it, and Oregon was fortunate in that they play Penn State. That's going to be a very difficult game, end of September. That could be the only loss they take in regular season play. And in fact, they'll probably be close to double-digit favorites, depending on how the season plays out, against everybody else. Indiana coming off the bye week after Penn State, that's a home game. I think the Hoosiers are probably a little more talented than people want to give them credit for. I was pleasantly surprised based upon the research I did this offseason with what they bring back, and then also kind of surprised that they're ranked in the top 20 in the AP poll. that might be like the second best team they play full stop on the regular season. And that's kind of in the middle there, coming off a bye week. So, they get through that. The month of November gets a little testy just because you do have that trip to Iowa. You do have the 2 West Coast rivalry games with USC and Washington to end the regular season. But, Oregon could be a team where they're still kind of finding themselves and figuring themselves out, learning who they are, midway through October into November, while only having 1 loss or being maybe undefeated if they can pull the upset in Happy Valley. So, yeah, it's a weird season to project, because I did my season predictions on the win loss record, excuse me, and I had them at 11-1. Not that I think necessarily this is a 11-win team based upon all these questions we have on the roster, but it was really hard for me picking through the schedule to find a game and pinpoint, I think that's going to be a loss. There's certainly games they could lose, but I think, like you said, you look at the schedule and you work your way down it and you go, I have a hard time going, that's a capital, let's put it in ink loss, aside from maybe that Penn State game. And so if you're Oregon, this could be a season where if they find their footing and they kind of hit their full stride in November and they finish 11-1 in regular season play, they could be a really dangerous outcome college football playoff time, even though maybe early on in the season, people are looking around kind of going like, I don't know if this Oregon team's what we thought they'd be.
That is Eric Skopel. You can follow his work at Duck Territory. Eric, always great to catch up with you. Should be an exciting year once again for Oregon in the Big Ten and the college football playoff. Hopefully we can stay in touch and have fun next week as we get everything kicked off.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, keep me posted. Love to come back on.
All right, sounds good. That is Eric Skopel joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. All of our guests join us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Well, our friends at Prize Picks, that's the best place to win cash while watching sports. Who doesn't love doing that? Join millions of users. You can sign up today. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off, which ones aren't. You can make your picks in less than 60 seconds. Turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. It's really easy. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code WJOX. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even have to win. That's code WJOX. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. But it's not just football, the professional and the college ranks, which you will have at your disposal this season, but also professional baseball, all kinds of different sports. But that's where we are going tonight. And I got a couple of goblin bets. That means that the bets are easier to win, or the projections are easier to win, I should say, but the payouts are lower. We'll go baseball tonight. Juan Soto and his Mets taking on the Braves. Hits, runs batted in. Combine those. All he has to do is get one of any of those. He's done that in 6 out of the last 7 games. Aaron Judge for Conrad's New York Yankees. Same thing. All he has to do is get 1 run. Score 1 run.
Easy.
1 hit. Knock a run in. That's all you got to do. He's done that in 5 of his 6 last games.
Come on, Aaron.
All right. So we're going to go with both of those guys. They go more on those projections. We're a winner. You can be a winner too. Prize Picks, once again, promo code WJOX. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
When we come back on Three Man Front, we'll kind of unpack what Eric Skopel was talking about. Oregon, if you just look at their schedule, man, wow, it is manageable. And they went undefeated during the regular season last year. Just, man, I know they're kind of reloading on the defensive side, new quarterback, but we'll kind of discuss that and where the pecking order is in the Big Ten. That's next on Three Man Front. Coming up later this hour, we'll do some Pat Ponders. We'll also, worst thing I've seen, all straight ahead here on this Wednesday edition of 3-Man Front.
Well, football season is straight ahead, and the place to go catch all the action is Big Whiskey's because they have great food of all varieties with a full menu ranging from apps, salads, burgers to steaks. Their bar features unique cocktails, over 120 whiskeys, including whiskey on tap, and plenty of screens so that you can catch all the games all weekend long. They also offer different food and drink specials for each day of the week. They have happy hour, and the kitchen is open late every night. So go check them out, the Stadium Trace Village off Highway 150 near the Hoover Met.
So almost everybody has Ohio State, Penn State in 1-2 order in regards to the Big Ten. Those two teams playing for the Big Ten championship. Both those teams potentially number 2 in the nation overall in college football. Oregon is right there. They're a top 10 team, depending on what poll you're looking at. They could be 6, they could be 7. But if you look down their schedule, Montana State and Oklahoma State, that is the first 2 games out of the gate. Then you got to go to Evanston, Illinois, and play Northwestern in that little bandbox.
Yep.
The Lake Field.
Then you got Oregon State. So
it's a Civil War.
So you got, simply to say, you've got a 4-0 start. And then as Eric mentioned, you got to go to Penn State on September 27th. And then you come home 2 weeks later. So you got an off week after whatever happens in Happy Valley. And you play Kirk Cignetti in the Indiana Hoosiers. And then after that, you do have to get on the plane and fly to Piscataway, New Jersey, and take on Rutgers. Then back at home, playing Wisconsin, who most indicate that this is going to be a make-or-break year for Fickle. A lot of people not expecting Wisconsin to be very good. Then you got to go to Iowa. Back home against Minnesota and USC, and then you finish at Washington.
So, according to preseason rankings, you've got 2 teams that are ranked that you're going to play. One is Penn State, and then one is Indiana.
That's it. As of right now, 2 ranked opponents on Oregon's schedule. That's it. And who knows if Indiana will be ranked by the time you get there.
Yeah.
And I mean, Penn State's going to be really good, but do you view this Penn State team as a national title winner? I don't.
No. I feel really good about 2 things with Penn State this year. 1, they will make the playoff, and 2, they will not win the national championship.
So you're pretty good feeling about that.
So Oregon,
I have a great feeling about that.
And that's the thing, though. Oregon, and there's other schools and other conferences that we can put into this category, but there's a good chance that that's a 1-loss. Let's just say they lose in Happy Valley, but that's a 1-loss Oregon team that gets in the college football playoff, and we still don't know a whole lot about that team until they get into the college football playoff.
Are you looking at the ticket prices over there on the far right? Do you have that in front of you? Do you find that amazing that a $210 ticket at Northwestern?
Penn State, I understand that.
$373 for Penn State.
You want to watch Indiana at Autzen? $63. At Rutgers, New Jersey.
Man, $82 to watch Rutgers in Oregon?
Wisconsin.
I'll go down closer to kickoff.
Wisconsin brings the cheddar, if you know what I mean. $145 for that ticket.
Hey, but if you want to see PJ Fleck, they're at Autzen.
Bring the whole family. That's family day.
That is at 8 o'clock kickoff, local time. So that's Birmingham, 10 o'clock. $41.
Let's go.
Oh, that's not bad. Hey, you brought up Wisconsin, though. Remember, they almost beat Oregon last year with their backup quarterback. That was a very close game.
Because Alabama hurt their starting quarterback.
Well, that's what we do.
Took
Thomas Castellanos, you're next.
Whoa.
Cuevas had a nice catch and run.
Bunch of headhunters.
He did. What?
We're like, God.
It's more like kneecap hunters, thank you.
Oh.
If we're going to clarify, Pat.
Man, this offense, we're going to see a lot more of the tight end scoring touchdowns. And then it was.
Alabama does not operate like the Saints defense back in the, late 2000s? Isn't that when they had their headhunting scandal? We go for the ligaments.
Where is Van Dyke now?
Couldn't tell you.
Oh, Tyler Van Dyke?
He went somewhere else,
That's a
didn't
great
he?
question. I don't know. He's probably like the 5th string quarterback at Notre Dame with Buckner. He went to, wasn't he at, didn't he go to Louisville?
SMU.
Okay, sorry.
One thing's for sure.
Sorry, Coach Lashley just wasn't studying it.
Oregon will be in the conversation. Just no doubt.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it.
Some news for our Samford listeners. The SoCon is slated now to add Tennessee Tech in all sports beginning with the 2026-27 season. Tennessee Tech has been a member of the Ohio Valley Conference and will bring SoCon membership up to 11 schools. Expecting a formal announcement later today. So the SoCon getting involved in the expansion world.
First Sanford athletic event I ever went to, I was in elementary school, and we all got tickets to go to one of their basketball games in the old gymnasium, and they were playing Tennessee Tech.
Old Siebert Hall?
Yep.
So Tennessee Tech joining the conference with Samford coming up in 2026-27. More three-man front on this Wednesday. We'll do some Pat Ponders. That's next.
Well, if you want to celebrate the kickoff to college football with us at the Bill Smith Buick GMC Jox Kickoff Party, you can. It's at Regions Field on Thursday, August 21st, but the only way to go is by winning tickets. So to enter to win a pair of tickets for you and a guest, text the keyword football. That's it. Just football and your full name to 205.
Right, just football.
Just football. Well, football and your full name.
Got creative with that.
Just text football.
I'm not coming up
Who
with
comes
these.
up with these?
I don't know.
I need to know. think it would be a little bit more creative.
Yeah.
Wasn't yesterday go?
Yeah, just G-O, go.
Are you coming up with these?
No.
I like today's word.
I think we should come up with.
It would be very obvious if it was, code word Tungavailoa or something, then yeah, you could blame me. But
Text the keyword slide protection.
Yeah, that would be Cole.
Yeah.
Cole would come up with that one.
see, Greg's would be Lake.
Huskers.
That'd be Slay for her.
Oh, Slay.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
Slay.
Or Tay-Tay.
Okay, so today's football.
Yes, it's
Football.
Football.
So you text football in your full name.
That's F-O-O-T, not F-U-T.
No, absolutely not.
Not like soccer.
American football.
Football.
Yes.
Like real football.
Real football.
Yeah, the kind that you can use your hands and feet.
That's exactly right.
And your entire body is covered in pads.
Yes.
Yes. To 205-834-9450. Winners are drawn and notified daily. If you need more information, visit joxfm.com.
See how fun that was doing that promo?
Fun. Yeah.
We could.
See.
And now no one knows what word to text in to get tickets.
They're
to
all
the kickoff.
confused.
Wait, is it slide protection? It's football.
Football.
Conrad taking shots at the suit for coming up with the code words.
Yeah.
So.
Pretty crappy.
Well, it was because suit was making fun of his car.
Does it count if you misspell what you text in? Like if we did cleats, how many people would do EA and how many would do 2 E's?
Well, we had this problem the other day when everyone thought the keyword was tie, but it was tied. And so we had a bunch of people, sitting in the first name of the Alabama quarterback. And
Molly, you got to enunciate.
Unfortunately.
No,
couldn't
that
get
was
the
Damien.
tickets.
I was spelling it out for everybody.
Yeah, it wasn't Molly.
No, that was Damien.
Sorry, Molly.
Wow.
Damien, you got to enunciate.
Don't look at me.
Thank you. Someone had to say it.
Yeah, about time. For Pat Ponders.
Know what you're thinking. Tell me what's on your mind.
It's time for Pat Ponders.
Brought to you by Courtesy GMC and Trustful off of exit 32 I-459. Check out the 9 acres of inventory in person or go to their website, courtesybirmingham.com. Question number 1. If Alabama wins 10 games, goes to the SEC championship, and lands a college football playoff berth, will fans believe DeBoer has truly stabilized the program?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Give me that again. So make the playoff. What else?
10 games.
Okay.
Go to the SEC championship game.
Okay.
Make the playoff. Does that signal that he has stabilized the program?
I want to say yes, but I'm just, for the fan base in general.
You're such a greedy bee.
I'm throwing this caveat out there. You make it to Atlanta, you lose.
Uh-huh.
You make it to the playoff,
and lose.
You lose the first round.
Right.
No, people are not happy at that point.
So he has not stabilized it.
No, you
Okay.
have to either win the SEC championship or get to the playoff and win at least.
Make
a game.
some noise.
Yeah.
I think
Wow.
getting to the playoff and at least winning a game.
Okay. Would you like to recant your statement?
No.
Landrum?
No. I'm going to stand firmly on it. Yes, he stabilized it. You're 9-4 last year.
I agree with Landrum. I think if he gets to the college football playoff, wins the 10 games, I think he stabilizes it.
See, and here's the problem, and I'll say this, I'll fall victim to it as well. If Alabama makes the playoff, that being the we're happy with how the season ended because you made the playoff. Like, it's easy to say that now, but if you actually make the playoff and you don't go and make noise in the playoff, people are going to be very frustrated. In my opinion, I think that is how the fan base will react.
Yes. It's kind of like, the Braves. I hope they make the playoffs. I know they're not making them this year, but I hope they make the play. But once they get in, you're like, hey, now that we're in, let's win some games.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what happened? We got beat
exactly
in Game 5 or Game 7, so close, and you find criticism. Yes, but the correct answer is it will have been stabilized if he just makes the college football playoff this year.
All right. Question number 2. Bank of America recently released a spending study that revealed fans spend 25% more now than they did prior to the pandemic on game day activities at sporting events. They call it revenge spending. Do you find yourself spending more on frivolous things at games than you did prior to the pandemic?
I'd say less because everything else has gotten so much more expensive, honestly. Just trying to get a ticket into a game?
Well, me 100% because I didn't have to spend anything for 4 years. So
that's a good point.
It just depends. If it, not necessarily.
Well, like the Braves. Like when you go over to a Braves game now, do you find yourself maybe not holding back as much as you did prior to the pandemic on your game day experience? Whether it's more food, as an extra souvenir, or hey, we're going to upgrade and park a little bit closer to the stadium and pay a little bit more, whatever the case may be.
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
That's what Bank of America
I never
is calling
thought about it.
Revenge spending.
I never thought about it, but yeah, I guess I do.
Because so many people during the pandemic, they were obviously, you found out what you missed the most. And then when it came back to you, you were willing to do whatever was necessary to get more enjoyment out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
25% more, according to Bank of America, based on the spending habits.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I'm here to educate. Question number 3. If you're building an NFL team and you have hired an above average offensive coordinator, are you today, as in right now, picking Mahomes or are you picking Joe Burrow to be your quarterback?
Hey, Brittany.
You still got to take Mahomes for right now.
Yeah.
He's won 3
Mahomes.
Super Bowls.
Easy.
And I love Joe Burrow. I think it's a 1A, 1B thing, but give me the guy that's been there and done that multiple times.
Yeah, give me Mahomes.
You say that reluctantly.
Yeah. I'm thinking longevity.
I think Joe Burrow has better stats this year. He had better stats last year.
You know what? I'm going to take it back. Nope. Give me Joe Burrow.
There you go. What would be different?
He plays the piano.
He does. Quite well, actually.
Yeah.
He was pretty good.
Next question on this National Filet Mignon Day.
What?
It is.
Oh.
What is your favorite cut of steak?
Prime rib.
Free kind. You like prime rib, really?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Go the au jus on the top of it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's solid. I find myself eating way too much of it when I eat prime rib.
Well, it's one of those things I very rarely have it, so when I do, I'm going to typically gorge myself on
What did you get that night at
he got a
in
filet.
Atlanta?
He got the big filet.
Yeah, you and I went the petite.
Yeah, we went petite. He went with the big one.
Yeah, he was like, he was taking advantage of the wonderful person that was buying us dinner.
Yes.
Mine was like $4 more than y'all's.
That thing was massive.
Yeah, and I ate every bite of it.
Yes, you did, because I was watching. I was going to make you eat every bite of it. I was going to kick
made
you under the
sure.
table and go, hey, finish. You
I
better
wasn't
finish
going to
that.
order that and not finish it.
This poor, hard-working individual.
Hey, and did you also notice during dinner that he did not go a beer? Did you notice that?
Oh, he went double top shelf.
Yeah.
I got challenged by the host. I ordered water.
Well,
and
to
then
be
I
fair,
got so we're just doing the water
to
thing.
be fair, we all got challenged by the host. That
Yeah.
was the worst case of peer pressure ever. Pat really got it because then I was like, I'm joining in. I'm going to put pressure on Pat. And Pat had to recant his drink order.
We all only had one drink, though.
Yeah, and I'm glad you noticed that too. I'm surprised he didn't take dessert back to the hotel.
I know, right?
Based the way that he was ordering that
I'm
night.
surprised he didn't ask the host, who not sure took a bite of their steak.
I thought about it. Hey, can I
You know
take
what?
that back to the hotel room?
And I thought about it too.
I mean, if it's just
It's like that's a beautiful cut of meat.
It was just sitting there.
Was that not a great meal?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
It was a great
We were
meal.
there for 3 hours, and it was very.
Were we really?
Yeah, it was delightful conversation.
Oh wow, I did not realize that.
Kind of had our own little section,
little alcove.
Oh, I remember I told Paige, hey, I'll call you after dinner. And when I called her, she said, how long were y'all at dinner? I said, good conversation.
It was.
All right,
good
so
steak.
you're going. You said
Prime rib.
Prime rib.
I'll go filet.
You go filet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
She likes a good T-bone.
You have a preference, or do you like them all?
I really couldn't tell you. I just like steak.
You probably normally have like a ribeye.
Or
I would guess, or
she might go New York strip.
Listen, I don't really know what I get, if I'm being honest. I don't eat a lot of steak, though.
Get you a good old prime rib sometime.
Man, she goes to Nebraska and she doesn't have a good old steak from some great steakhouse in Omaha, Nebraska.
That's insane.
I mean, it's been a while.
I'm a filet guy, like you.
I like filet. Now, I like a good ribeye, but a little too much gristle, too much fat.
Yeah.
Sometimes for my liking.
See, my problem with filet, it tastes the best, but it's just not, the portion size isn't as big.
Well, you got the jumbo in Atlanta.
Well, that was fine.
You didn't have a problem there?
No, that one was fine.
There's some places you can get the old 96er.
I wasn't paying for it that day, and I'm not paying for it in the future.
I'm like you.
I really appreciated that dinner, but I would not have paid for that myself.
I know a really good filet that I can buy from a butcher shop. And if yours is $100 more,
you wouldn't tell a difference.
Not a ton. No. I don't need it served to me by someone wearing a tie.
No. Final question of the day comes from BB. When driving around, do you find yourself trying to read or sound out the letters and numbers on license plates as if they are on vanity plates?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes.
And so every now and then you'll catch one. You're like, that's really clever.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, absolutely.
Depends on what it says, but yeah, usually.
I find myself second guessing what they put on there. It's like, this would be better. Should have gone with this one. But you don't know which ones are taken or which ones are allowed.
You're making editorial decisions as you're behind them.
Or you just get what's clearly a random license plate, and you're like, man, if that one letter was different, this would be golden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely do that.
That's today's Pat Ponders, brought to you by Courtesy GMC and Trustful. Visit their online inventory at courtesybirmingham.com.
See, I think about your license plate, and if they just added an F to the beginning, it'd be great.
Oh, yeah, that would be.
Because you're a Muppets fan.
Yeah, big time. Huge.
We continue. The worst thing that Conrad's seen is next.
It's 1:49. Welcome back to Three Man Front. A little bit of breaking news in college football. Nice to see the Big 12 finally getting in line with the Southeastern Conference. It's being reported that the Big 12 will now institute formal injury reports for football and basketball. Football programs will be required to release daily injury reports starting 3 days in advance of games and a 90-minute before game window.
You know who loves hearing that?
Vegas.
John Mateer.
That's true. Him too, if he wants to bet on some Big 12 action. So the Big 12 now adopting basically the same policy that the SEC has.
Who still doesn't have it?
I think the ACC has it.
They were the first one to do
I thought the ACC was.
Does the Big 10 have it?
That's the one I'm wondering about.
For some reason, I want to say they do.
They do.
I was about to say, I really hope they don't, so Greg Sankey can say, we are not agreeing to a college football playoff format
So now you
until
have
you have the injury reports.
all Power 4 conferences now have injury reports. So that's good.
That's good. Keeps everything above board. Keeps us informed.
Hey, transparency is nice, isn't it?
It is. We see good, we see bad. Conrad always gravitates to the bad. This is the worst thing that Conrad has seen.
This is the worst thing I've seen.
Been in quarantine and I need to get out and party. Woo! What's better than beach and a few drinks and Jeeps? Man, getting better than that. Law enforcement's definitely made their visitability and made people chill out and not be as crazy.
The cops are doing their job as long as they don't be mean to people who are actually being innocent. Then I'm all gravy, baby.
All right, for the worst thing that I've seen today, we are going to go to the great state of Colorado. I know many of you fans of the state of Colorado. And we're going to talk about a bad hair day, but maybe not the kind that you're thinking of. So we do have a visual aid for today's edition of the show. And if you go to our Twitter page at the number 3 Man Front, you can see a picture that I have just posted related to today's story. So in the state of Colorado, there has been somewhat of an infestation of a particular type of rabbit that has been causing a little bit of some pandemonium amongst the locals. So in Fort Collins, Colorado, to be specific, this was a news story lately where a resident by the name of Susan Mansfield said that she had reportedly seen a rabbit with what looked like black quills or toothpicks sticking out around the mouth of the rabbit. So unfortunately, this is a rapidly spreading virus that causes cottontail rabbits to grow black tentacle-like growths out of their heads, of course, freaking people out. So you can see a picture of one of the rabbits on our Twitter page if you want a better visual of what I'm talking about here. But another resident described the critters as a scabious-looking growth all over the faces of the rabbits. So the actual disease is called cottontail papilloma virus, which causes cottontail rabbits to sprout tumors around their head. It is caused by the spread of parasites such as ticks and fleas, which then bite the rabbits and pass on the ailment, causing these growths to spout out. So according to a representative of the Colorado Parks and Wildlife, they said reportedly, quote, typically rabbits become infected in the warmer months of summer when transmitted by being bitten by insects like fleas and ticks. And while the most recent sightings have occurred in Colorado, we actually have gotten reports of this in the past out of the Midwest. So back in 2013, a Minnesota resident spotted a similar feature on local rabbits and, of course, freaked out and went on and spread it around social media. But the good news is, again, according to Colorado Parks and Wildlife, that while the virus can spread between rabbits, and so if you have an infected rabbit and an uninfected rabbit, they can spread the disease that way, but it is not known to infect humans or household pets such as dogs and cats. So if you are going to the Colorado area in the near future, you don't have to worry. You're not going to get sick yourself. Your pets are not going to get sick, but it is certainly, I would say, quite a disturbing image.
Yeah.
So,
It is.
I can't look at that.
Yeah, it's not great. So, yeah, you can go see it on our Twitter account at the number 3 Man Front.
Yeah, it's not great, but go look at it anyway.
Yeah. Well,
and something else that is good, and I think this is really good news for Conrad. Have you seen the new toothpaste they're coming out with?
I have not. What is it?
I can't believe it. Toothpaste made out of hair. It could be on shelves in 2 years. Researchers from King's College London said they've identified a substance that can protect against tooth decay, repair early-stage damage better than fluoride, and it's found atop your head.
I'll try it.
Is it keratin or a protein in human hair, skin, nails, and the wool of sheep? Forms a dense mineral coating that mimics the structure and function of natural enamel, protecting teeth and potentially sealing exposed nerve channels that cause sensitivity.
And you said this is toothpaste?
Yeah.
Well, I've got a better idea. Just take the hair and turn it into bristles and make a toothbrush out of it.
Now you're onto something.
I feel like that's the...
You don't share those on the air.
I'm just saying. I feel like that's the real moneymaker here. I thought you were going to say it was some new, like, stranger flavor of toothpaste.
Is there a scenario where me and Pat pose a bet to you, a challenge to you, where you use a toothbrush made out of human hair?
I don't know if I want to go that route. I was going to say when the toothpaste comes out, I will happily get some and try it and report back, but I don't actually want to, brush my teeth with hair. I know that's surprising to a lot of people. Wow, he doesn't want to do that, but I'd rather not.
That is your wow moment of the day here on the show. 4 hours in.
This is why you listen until the final minutes.
Yeah, we got Rodney Orr, Tighter Insider, updating us tomorrow on Tuscaloosa. Rob Pate talking Auburn. Coach David Cutcliffe, part of the Nick Saban Legacy Awards, going to join us as well. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. God is great. We'll see you tomorrow.